It's a game that began over a century ago, fueled by its close proximity, bordered by an imaginary line. This Arkansas-LSU historic rivalry resides on both sides and has had lasting effects. To the loser, disappointment and disgust. To the winner, lifelong memories and a golden prize.
Say goodbye, Trendon Holiday.
The pass is intercepted. The Razorbacks have beaten the #1 team in the country. Down the right sideline for Crawford. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Hands of Velcro. Touchdown, LSU.
Oh! Are you kidding me?
For 16 of the last 18 games, LSU and Arkansas have met on the day after Thanksgiving. They began awarding the Golden Boot back in 1996. And today, it's the Home Depot, SEC on CBS. And here come the Fighting Tigers of LSU. 8-3 and looking for a bowl win to possibly catapult to Dallas for Cotton. And for Arkansas, a chance at long last for that elusive first SEC win under first-year coach Brett Bielema. A look at the standings in the most powerful division within any conference in college football shows you that the Iron Bowl seen tomorrow on this dynamic holiday weekend of SEC on CBS action awaits. LSU looking to hold on to elite status and possibly a 10-win season. Hello, everyone. Tim Brando by my side is Aaron Taylor. And after all of that about rivalry weekend, it's also senior day, partner.
Oh, buddy, senior day for me at Notre Dame. I was crying like a baby. Think about football. We're always trying to achieve something or do something or become something. But senior day is that rare opportunity where players get to reflect and celebrate what it is they've done and what they've been a part of.
And for LSU, they are coming off perhaps their most balanced and prolific performance against Texas A&M last week.
Yeah, they really wanted to prove a point after that Alabama game, and boy, did they last week against Texas A&M, Timmy. They controlled the line of scrimmage, pounding the football, averaging almost 6 yards per carry and running through arm tackles. They were dominant on that side of the ball, and Zach Mettenberger really rebounded. He's, had a couple tough games in the middle of the season, really efficient last week in that defense. There's not going to be a shootout. They took it personally, and they absolutely shut down the best offense that we've seen in quite some time for Texas A&M.
This is a rebuilding year for Arkansas, but for their first-year coach, Brett Bielema, one little trick he may have up his sleeve is in trophy games. He was a perfect 7-0 in the Paul Bunyan Axe, while the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, and he's down with the third member of our broadcast team, Christina Ackrell.
All right, thank you, Tim. Coach, you told us earlier this week how important rivalry games are to the culture of your program. What steps did you take to emphasize that to your team this week?
Well, it's a trophy week. We're playing for the Golden Boot. Great opportunity for our guys. Obviously, it hasn't been a great year in the one-loss record, but an opportunity today to make a statement about where we're at now and where we're going.
You've taken the field for the final time this season. What was the message to your guys before you ran out?
Take every snap for what it is. Play your unbelievable focus, effort. Take the fight from them. I don't want anybody backing down. Go out and have ourselves a little fun.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
There's a look at Alex Collins, the freshman of influence from Fort Lauderdale. Young man will eclipse 1,000 yards and has a chance to become the record holder for freshmen all time at Arkansas, passing the great Darren McFadden, who was on this field back in 2007, the last time the Razorbacks won in Baton Rouge. Magnificent day here in Baton Rouge, the capital city of Louisiana. Chamber of Commerce, hot boudin and cold couche kind of afternoon. 58 degrees. It'll get into the 60s before day's end. LSU won the toss, deferred, and will be kicking off. James Hairston will handle the duties. And Corliss Marshall, a dual running back and would-be defensive player for Arkansas. They've got really 3 outstanding backs that they can utilize. As you look at Les Miles, hard to believe, but already now his 13th season overall, 9th at LSU, and the kickoff is going to go through the end zone and will be a touchback. The Razorbacks will take over at their 25-yard line. Take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups offensively for the Razorbacks, led by Brandon Allen, a homespun star from Fayetteville, has been banged up, a shoulder injury earlier this year. Also gashed a leg along the way. You see the touchdown to interception ratio has been a bit of a problem, but he feels, in talking with him the other day, that he is now finally healthy. The calendar just worked against him to some extent. Fiero Small is the fullback, and dotting the I is the running back Williams. It's ahead for a couple of yards, and Lamine Barrow makes the stop. Weak side linebacker after a gain of 2 for LSU.
Yeah, that's going to be something we're going to see a lot of this week. And for Arkansas, it's about running the football, and that means that their center, Travis Swanson, the 4-year starter who's making his 50th start, he and his line mates are going to have to control this line of scrimmage today so that Brandon Allen doesn't have to try and beat the LSU Tigers with his arm.
2nd and 8. Across the middle they go. It's the wide receiver Keon Hatcher, number 4, just shy of the 30-yard line. DJ Welter, the middle linebacker, making the stop after a 3-yard gain. As you look at the Tigers defensively,
yeah, they're a good unit that really responded well last week, and a big reason why is because of their senior linebacker Lamine Barrow, who already made the first tackle this game. Leads his teammates, has tremendous instincts, Timmy, and I think we're about to see a very good 60-minute 9-on-7 drill. 2 offenses like to run the football, and that means that both of these teams are trying to control the line of scrimmage, and number 18 there certainly helps the Tigers do that.
Third down and 5. Pressure coming off the corner, and the pass incomplete. That's another example of a missed opportunity as Hatcher, the intended receiver, ball thrown a little low and out in front, and it'll be a punt formation after a 3-and-out for the Razorbacks. That's one of those that, unfortunately for Arkansas, they've missed a lot of open receivers this year.
Yeah, and one of the things that you want to do as an offense is simply get first downs and move the chains, and that was a blown opportunity. The ball was a little low and a little out in front of Hatcher, and as a result, they're punting to an offense that played pretty dang well last week.
Sam Irwin-Hill punts it away, and Odell Beckham will take it on the bounce. Outstanding punt and kick returner for LSU. 51-yard boot, a 5-yard return. We'll take a look now at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups for the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Zach Mettenberger with a chance to get beyond the 3,000-yard mark, joining the likes of Rohan Davey and Jamarcus Russell. And you see the numbers. Boy, did Cam Cameron become the offensive coordinator just in time for Zach. Arguably the most improved quarterback in terms of increasing his stock for the next level in all of college football this season. Jeremy Hill dots the I. Play fake. Looking for and finding underneath the tight end, incomplete. Travis Dixon, the intended receiver. Alan Turner, the free safety, was with him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And that's one of the things that Cam Cameron will like to do on first down is a tendency breakers, throw the football. Just a great job breaking on the ball. Alan Turner timed that perfectly. Mettenberger could have gotten that ball out a little bit sooner and maybe hit Dixon earlier in that route after he broke it.
Yeah, he was open.
Now I think we'll see their run game.
Following the big fullback, Neighbors ahead for a couple of yards, and that's all. Maybe 3. We'll call it 3rd down and 7. Rest of that Tigers offense, offensive front that's improved over time.
Yeah, well, we showed you Zach Mettenberger's number, and the big reason why is because Odell Beckham Jr. is second in the country in all-purpose yards. He's a big play receiver, averaging almost 20 yards per catch, and when you combine him with Jarvis Landry, this wide receiver duo is dang near unstoppable. A lot of weapons on this team, 2,000-yard receivers, and Odell Beckham Jr. is one of them.
With a little bunch formation, a little diamond to the near side. Mettenberger looks for Landry, and Jarvis has got it at midfield. First down, Brooks Ellis, the freshman middle linebacker, number 51 from Fayetteville, with the tackle, a 17-yard gain, and they hurry up.
A lot of good that you like on that play, particularly the protection. Mettenberger's got time. He's patient. He knows he's got a couple windows with the crossing Landry, and he found him.
LSU going hurry up early, and a miscommunication on that route by Cadron Boone and Mettenberger. He was going out and up, and Mettenberger just with the quick out. As you looked at the Arkansas defense, two bookend defensive ends, Smith and Flowers, to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be in Arkansas's best interest to be able to try and win first and second down so that they can unleash Chris Smith, who's got 8.5 sacks, second in the SEC this year. Pass rushing and getting after the quarterback's one of the things that Arkansas does well. But Timmy, you got to get in second and third and longs, and here is an opportunity on second down.
Neighbors in motion. Mettenberger's pass incomplete. Going for the tight end, Dylan Gordon, number 85. Only 5 catches this season for the youngster from Edgard, Louisiana, John Curtis High School, one of the outstanding high schools in South Louisiana. Jarvis Landry leading the NCAA in third down conversions this year, already with 1 today.
It'll be interesting to see here if Arkansas tries to bring pressure and rattle Mettenberger to get him off his spot. But you have to pick your poison, because if you do that, you put a lot of pressure on your back end.
Zach's pass is caught. Odell Beckham inside the 35. First down, Tigers at the 33. Tackle made again by Ellis. And another 17-yard pickup.
Already early in this ball game, Arkansas showing a lot of respect to this receiving duo. They're playing zone coverage, playing off. And Odell Beckham Jr. just does a good job of breaking his route off and finding the hole in the zone.
Terrence McGee is coming at running back, and Arkansas is going to take a timeout. Well, a couple of long third down conversions in the passing game. Red Bielema's team has seen his defensive coordinator Chris Ash and his outstanding linebacking coach Randy Shannon, former head coach at Miami.
Before the snap, substitution infraction on the defense. 12 players in the formation, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Wow. In addition to the timeout, they give up a penalty 5 yards as well.
Not a bad move, maybe trying to have 12 defenders trying to defend those 2 receivers, Timmy, but you have to be smart with your substitution packages, and just been really impressed with LSU all season long on how manageable their third downs have been. They lead the country in third down percentage. Almost 60% of the time they get to third down, they're able to convert it. And the big reason why is because they can control the line of scrimmage on first and second down, and this certainly made it easy with them now that they got a 1st and 5 that they're looking at.
Well, I think they were trying to call the timeout, but got penalized beforehand, so they're back up to the line of scrimmage. So that first indication we got from one of the officials was timeout, and in fact was a penalty prior to the timeout. So no timeout charge. Quick pitch, one of their favorite plays to McGee. Terrence McGee, touchdown. Yards. That quick pitch is a base play for Les Miles. They run it game in and game out.
And Connor Neighbors just really did a good job of chopping down the play side linebacker. That's what this LSU team does. They run lead zone, weak side lead power. The fullback will take you to the promised land in this offense, and Neighbors certainly led the way on that last one for the early touchdown for McGee.
Colby Delahousse out of the hold of Seth Rouget for the extra point. That's a lot of French on your conversion, isn't it?
Boudin.
Right through the uprights. 3 plays on that drive of 15 or better yards, and McGee, the junior from Franklinton, took it right down the line. Tigers Tigers lead by 7. One of the 14 seniors on hand here today, quarterback Zach Mettenberger. And I think that in our conversation with him the other day, Aaron, refreshingly depressed about what was in store for him. That's the way to sum up the conversation.
No, it's rare that, Tim, we get a chance to see players take off the mask and the armor, but that young man right there, Zach Mettenberger, was very aware of what today meant, and you almost got the feeling that he wished he had more time.
Yeah, he said, you know, having played here at LSU and enjoyed it as much as I have, and to get Cam Cameron as my coach for 1 year, he did catch me at the most mature time of my collegiate career, but you could just hear in his voice and see in his posture that he wished the calendar could work the other way for just maybe another 12 months or so.
Yeah, there's no question. All of us wish we had another time. I've got a couple years of eligibility left in me to see if I can get back out there, but such a special time and such a special influence and relationship that he and Cam Cameron have. I think I would have been interested to see him have a little bit more time as well.
That was a 70-yard, 1-minute, 59-second drive as the kick by Hairston goes to Corliss Marshall, and here comes the speedster. He can go now. Markers down as Marshall sets sail. They will likely bring this back, but how about that speed, huh? 100 yards, but a marker down at the 31-yard line.
Bielema's not going to be happy with that. That's a tremendous effort.
During the return, holding number 52 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Dante Carr, reserve linebacker, 52, the guilty party. Our referee is Hubert Owens today. There's 52. He was holding on number 45 for LSU.
And it's really a shame, Tim, because LSU is so far out. You see it right there. LSU is so far out of their coverage lanes that this would have been a heck of a way to respond to what seemed to be a pretty effortless drive by this LSU offense.
Yeah, I don't think he needed that hold of Deion Jones either. Not with the speed Marshall had. He got through that gap in a heartbeat.
Speed kills, baby.
Brandon Allen sets up shop now at the 14-yard line. LSU has surrendered some yards through the middle of their line this season. And Jonathan Williams, 32, the sophomore from Allen, Texas, is met by Quan Alexander after an 8-yard gain. Second and 2 coming up.
Both of these offenses run very similar styles of offense, very physical at the line of scrimmage. That was just a lead that time, and Kiro Small, the fullback, one of the leaders of this team, had an excellent block. But stretch, power, counter, draw, shifts, trades, motions. This is Wisconsin South here.
Oh, absolutely.
For the Arkansas offense. 5
or more yards on first down makes Arkansas a much more difficult team to defend. They fake the option, and it's wide open across the middle. Keon Hatcher wrestled down at the 35-yard line. Now, remember, LSU is starting Ricky Jefferson, the freshman, his first career start at safety in place of Corey Thompson. They're going to test that perimeter today.
Yeah, there's no question, and great play call there on second down, running the fake naked pitch and just hitting the post pattern across the middle. LSU today, Tim, is going to have to play with tremendous eye discipline. As heavy as Arkansas likes to run the football, they have to be able to be disciplined and not get beat like they did on that last one.
43 yards on that play, and we may have had, Jamarie Rasco with a little verbiage as he crosses the line. Whether we had encroachment or procedure, it appears to be the preliminary indication is that it's against LSU. Eagle Ferguson, number 9, may have been guilty.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Anthony Johnson, actually, number 90 rather than number 9. This Arkansas team with so many underclassmen. Look at where the productivity is coming from in this team.
There's no question the future's bright with the offensive skill players that they have, but the only way to get out of this hole for Brett Bielema is to recruit his way out of it, and that means offensive and defensive linemen.
On 1st and 5, Ferguson met Williams quickly that time. Ego got all of that one. Youngster out of Hargrave Military Academy by way of the state of Florida.
ego bruising the ego of some of the players on the other side of the line of scrimmage, just crossing faces. That's something that he does extremely well. He doesn't stay blocked long, Tim, and that's a big reason why the NFL scouts are drooling over number 9.
Second and 4. Hatcher again. Taken out at the 21-yard line by Craig Lawston. Now, he is the veteran of that secondary. Senior, DeSoto, Texas. Outstanding tackling safety for this team. Not having Thompson today is a bit of a loss, so he's going to have to help some of the younger defensive backs in this afternoon's game, particularly his fellow safety, Ricky Jefferson.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Craig Lawston last week, just how physical he was patrolling that secondary and coming up in the alleys in the line of scrimmage and making tackles.
On first down, twin tight end look again. And they go with Alex Collins. And he'll get inside the 15. Should get him over 1,000 yards for the season as a freshman with that carry. And a look at the Verizon red zone this season. The Hogs have scored a touchdown on 61% of its red zone appearances, just below the national average of 63%.
Yeah, and that's got to be the 103rd in the country down here in the red zone. This is an important area for Arkansas. If they want to beat this LSU team, they got to be able to get touchdowns, not here, instead of kicking field goals.
Keep an eye on the tight end position. They've got 2 of them in there again. And it's Collins burrowing ahead again to about the 13-yard line. DJ Welter, 31, makes the stop, a gain of 2.
Welter at that middle linebacker position, you have to be able to read your keys. That time he comes underneath the offensive lineman. The center, Travis Swanson, that great player who's arguably the best center in college football this year. When you're pulling, Tim, you have to stay tight to the down blocks, and that time Swanson was too wide, and Welter took advantage of it by coming underneath.
Jonathan Williams has come back in, the lone setback. 3 tight ends this time for Arkansas. 3rd and 2. Play fake. There's the tight end. We mentioned that with 3 of them out there, the freshman Hunter Henry from Little Rock, Arkansas, Pulaski Academy. This kid has an unbelievable future.
Yeah, he's a great player with what it is he brings to this team. Huge potential, not necessarily a burner, but he's got a ton of potential. He's an inline blocker. He'll mix it up, and this team needs more of those Hunter Henrys if they want to get themselves to the next level and get back to winning like this program's used to.
Parade All-America coming out of high school. 1st and goal, Arkansas, and again, pre-snap movement. Anthony Johnson, was he guilty again? We shall see.
Credit Brandon Allen, the quarterback, for that. Good hard count there.
Offside defense, number 90.
Yep.
Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Anthony Johnson, the junior from New Orleans, moving a bit prematurely. Jefferson, the freshman safety, comes out. Goal line defensive setup now for the Tigers. Kiero Small back into the game. A direct snap right to him. Stopped at the 1-yard line. Oh, they say he got in. Late call. He gets in for the touchdown on the direct snap to Kiero Small. Well, credit him with 3 yards on that. It appeared as though, at first glance, he was stopped at the 1, but a late surge right. He did not go down, and he stayed right through it and scored the touchdown.
Tremendous leg drive by Kiero Small, one of the players that head coach Brett Bielema told us that had really bought into his system. And that was an important drive for Arkansas, and very fitting that it was a senior out of Baltimore that puts the first points on the board.
Yeah, they got to review that, but I think they'll find that he was never on the ground. There were bodies underneath him.
They're just induced jumbo heavy right. Direct snap to Kiero Small. He's met at the 3.5-yard line. You see him just keeping his leg driving right there. Nothing touches, and right there he reaches the ball across, right. Tim.
That's touchdown.
There's the ball right there. That's across the plane. There are his knees right there. That looks good to me, buddy.
The knees were not on the ground at that stage.
It's going to take that effort from all 22 players on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball today to be able to get this win. And not unexpected, this LSU team, particularly on the defensive side of the ball after that great game that they had against Texas A&M, having a little bit of a letdown.
I don't think there's anything conclusive to change that. That should be 6. Well, after the penalty wiped out a 100-yard kickoff return, Arkansas's offense took care of business.
That's what they're going to have to do to be able to win this game, Timmy. I mean, rivalry games, anything can happen.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown.
Allen was 3 out of 3 on the drive. But the other key element to that was very rarely did he have a long down and distance situation. They managed to get yards on first down, and that's what Brett Bielema needs to see more of. Zach Hocker with the extra point. Perfect 25 of 25 on points after this season. Make it 26 of 26. The battle for the boot is all tied here in the first quarter. Arkansas and LSU. The first of 2 outstanding on this holiday weekend. The SEC on CBS. Got a sports fan on your gift list? Avoid the crowds and get free shipping when you shop this weekend on CBSSports.com. Take advantage of this special offer now at CBSSports.com/holiday. No one happier than this man, Dante Carr, junior from Gainesville, Georgia, who committed the hold on that kickoff return of 100 yards by Corliss Marshall, as the Razorbacks took over from their 15-yard line with a very healthy drive, leading with out of the Wildcat, Kiero Small taking it in. Officially, it was an 86-yard Razorbacks drive to tie the game at 7. Hawker will kick it away. Odell Beckham Jr. will say no, not this time. And the Tigers will take over at the 25.
Tim, I think it's going to be important for LSU to be able to come out and control the line of scrimmage, get into that run game right away. They started this game throwing with some play action on first down, good tendency breaker, but run game is about rhythm, and it's about getting yourself into the mindset where you can be physical and come downhill. I'd like to see him cut free this offensive line, let these backs run a little bit.
Yeah, I got a feeling, though, Cam Cameron wanted to let number 8 dial a few passes up early, though, don't you?
Yeah, you get the feeling that he wants to get him some good confidence early, and he certainly did that with the balls that he connected.
A reverse action to Odell Beckham Jr. Look out. Very few more dangerous than this guy. Following Mettenberger with some interference in front of him. Out to the 43-yard line, a 19-yard gain.
Love the play call. We were expecting Arkansas to be able to come out, but what running reverses does, you see all that fast flow in the red going to the right? That will make them stay home. That's going to open up the outside perimeter running game for LSU. That's a good play call to get those backers thinking early.
And whistle stops play as LSU was in a hurry getting ready to run another one very quickly. I don't know that they got the ball set, and that was the problem. And Hubert Owens came over and said, let's set the ball here.
Yeah, it seemed was like what LSU was doing, Timmy, is every time they get a big first down, they want to run hurry up. That prevents the defense from making substitutions. They can catch them on their heels a little bit.
Jeremy Hill. He gets it to midfield. Pick up a 5. And let's go back to the studio for this Liberty Mutual Infinite. Very important game indeed. Thank you, Adam Zucker. We'll be checking in throughout the course of the day as he's in Studio 43 with Brian Jones and Spencer Tillman. Quick pitch again to Hill. Jeremy has the first down to the 40-yard line of Arkansas. Eric Bennett wrestles him down. Gain of 10.
LSU is pulling their play side guards, trying to get to the perimeter on almost a G scheme. If nobody's there, they turn up on the backers. Remember, we talked about what that reverse does, that second level pursuit from those linebackers relate, which allowed old number 33 there to get the first down.
First down, quick hitch out to Landry. Jarvis Landry with button hook inside the 30 and ushered out at the 25. Brooks Ellis, freshman linebacker, making the stop. A couple of missed tackles, one by the weak side linebacker Bryce Holmes.
And Jarvis Landry's one of the best slot receivers in the game of college football, and certainly in this conference, because when he has the ball in his hands, he's special, he's explosive, tough player. Love his hands, Tim. As good a hands as I've seen in quite some time, and certainly a nice compliment to Odell Beckham Jr.
Twin tight end look for LSU. Landry in motion. J.C. Copeland is coming at fullback, and the 275-pounder leads the way for Terrence McGee, and he's shut down at the line of scrimmage. Darius Philon, one of the outstanding freshmen up front for this football team. 5 tackles and a forced fumble in that overtime loss, I should say, to Mississippi State last week. This youngster has a high ceiling for the Razorbacks.
Great potential, great story too. Wanted to quit the game of football. Took a couple days away, stepped away from the program, realized how important it was for him, and came back. And the rest, as they say, is going to be history. This young man, number 91, is going to be a good player in the future.
It was a gain of 2, so it's 2nd and 8. McGee already with 1 touchdown today. How about another? Boy, you talk about caving in the left-hand side of that LSU offensive line. They did the job. La'el Collins, youngster who may be contemplating his future after today, albeit a junior, number 70. He laid a heck of a block.
Yeah, it's just a pin and pull scheme where they try and get to the perimeter. They down block on the play side and pull the lineman out in front. And once again, you see an excellent effort by Terrence McGee running through arm tackles. Yards after contact is something that McGee specializes in, and he displayed it on that last play.
Delahousie. Another drive filled with big plays of better than 15 yards, including a reverse at one point. And Terrence McGee has 2 touchdowns. LSU leads by 7. Consecutive national championship. It all begins with 2 outstanding shows to preview it for you. An hour in length. Brian Jones and Spencer Tillman will join me for college football today and our Rams special that precedes that. Should be a lot of fun. Terrence McGee has gone 52 yards with 2 touchdown carries overall. That's not bad.
It's not bad considering he's coming off his career high last week of 149 yards. I think there may be a chance, Timmy, that he surpasses that today.
Hairston will be kicking it away, and Corliss Marshall, who did take the ball 100 yards the other way, only to have it called back for a holding penalty, is back deep. This one's short. He gathers it in and it looks to find some room. Probably a nice idea to put a little air underneath this one as he gets it out to the 23-yard line. A 12-yard return as we look at the last touchdown for Terrence McGee.
Tim, we talked about that pin and pull scheme. You see the guard's going to block down, and La'el Collins is going to do a good job reaching the defensive end and creating some space. When you get hat on a hat and can use your vision to cut back on those plays, and that's something that LSU does an extremely good job of. You have to stay disciplined and in your run lanes, and that time Arkansas didn't, and it cost them a touchdown.
Collins was blocking against Smith, one of the best defensive ends in college football.
A lot of scouts looking at that today.
First down for Arkansas. Out pattern to Hatcher, complete at the 31-yard line. Jalen Mills makes the stop. A little less than a yard shy of a first down for the Razorbacks.
Really nice job that time of the offensive line being able to give quarterback Allen some time to be able to throw. But that ball again came out a little bit late to me, and that's been one of the things that's cost Brandon Allen some interceptions this year, is he doesn't get the ball out as quickly as he can sometimes. That time it was a big completion, but he's got to be careful about that.
His offensive coordinator Jim Chaney, one-time NFL coordinator with the Rams and most recently with the Tennessee Volunteers, says, you know, I really have faith in him. We just have been a little bit late because of the injury bug. Kiero Small, who had the touchdown earlier out of the Wildcat, moves ahead for a couple of yards.
And there's something to be said about that too, Timmy, because it takes a quarterback sometime to week 4, week 5 to kind of get yourself into rhythm. And he went down early on in that Southern Miss game and then missed a couple games. So he was starting to get some momentum, but because of the injury, it was a huge setback for him personally and for this team. But now he's kind of getting to the end of the season where some of those timing throws and get that ball out on time starting to come.
Corliss Marshall now dots the I for Arkansas, becomes the third tailback utilized. He can really get to the edge with his speed and quickness. Out to the 40-yard line. Craig Lawson made the stop after a gain of 6.
Just a great job by Kiero Small getting up to that second level and being able to block those safeties that were coming down. Anytime you get to the perimeter, it starts to loosen that defense up. I would expect that Arkansas, because of that, will now try and come back inside between the tackles once you loosen that defense up.
Javante Herndon, the favorite target, senior from Jacksonville, Florida, flanked to the top of your screen. That's Henry, the tight end, in motion. Got those short, choppy steps. Ball comes out a bit late, though, but it's recovered by Arkansas. DJ Welter made the hit. The recovery made by number 69, David Hurd. Out of West Monroe, Louisiana, number 69.
Tim, as a former offensive lineman, one of the things you love to do is to be able to get in tight and load the line of scrimmage and run downhill, but it's also fun to kind of spread defenses out, get them thinking pass in a second and medium situation, then gash them with a run or a draw, and that's what Arkansas did. It's what they do, and they're very good at it. At some point, LSU might start running some stunts inside to take that away.
And a timeout taken by Arkansas with 3rd and 1 upcoming. Brett Bielema's team trying to hang with the Tigers, who've scored each time they've had it. We'll be back.
Timeout, Razorbacks.
Tonight, superstar Garth Brooks performs your favorite songs at a concert event live from Las Vegas. Tonight at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Offensive showcase so far here in Baton Rouge on this day after Thanksgiving for both clubs. That's not only prolific but efficient when you look at the numbers for both teams, really.
Defense is maybe optional after Thanksgiving, huh?
It is unique. It's a short week, and it is a rivalry game. You got to take those things into account.
And I think it's much harder for the team that travels during this game to be able to play better because of that.
Yeah. And that could even be a bus ride. Doesn't even have to be a plane ride. Could be a bus ride. 3rd down and a yard to go. Couple of yards, actually. A long one. Nice defensive penetration there. That was Daniil Hunter, number 94, piercing through. Sophomore from Katy, Texas, to make the tackle.
You got to be able to control the line of scrimmage. Daniil Hunter does just that, beating the tight end, fighting through a block, getting upfield, and being able to tackle Alex Collins for the loss. There's that vaunted LSU defensive line that we're talking about. Man, and that was, again, Hunter Henry, the true freshman. That's a lot for that young man to handle, but something he's going to be asked to do, particularly in this offense.
Another Australian kicker. This is Sam Irwin-Hill. Now, he can boot it with either leg. Ambidextrous. Using the right foot this time. That deep is Jarvis Landry from his 10 and stopped in his tracks at the 11-yard line. Tackle made by Alan Turner, for 27. Safety for the defense, 58-yard boot. Nothing on the return. Well, last week, Terrence McGee, also very effective. A career-high 149 yards rushing. They could not get him the ball a season ago. They had so many backs back then. And even now, when you've got Blue and Hilliard to go along with Jeremy Hill, but he's begun to separate himself here in the latter stages of this season.
Yeah, and he's really starting to take some carries away from Jeremy Hill because of his explosiveness. Only touched the ball 13 times last week, but man, average 11.5 yards per carry, and we've seen some of that explosiveness on display early on here today.
You got to remember they had guys like Michael Ford, they had Spencer Ware. There's just not enough room for him. Well, he's making room now. Twin tight end look for the Tigers, and a timeout's going to be taken by Zach Mettenberger. Only 13 ticks remaining in the opening quarter. LSU leads here in Baton Rouge. Sibling rivalry has never been so fierce. Will Arnett, Margot Martindale, and Bo Bridges star in TV's new #1 comedy, The Millers. Thursday after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS. Along with Aaron Taylor, Christina Acra along the sidelines. Tim Brando, happy to have you with us in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You got to be in the band. You got to have rhythm, not just a horn. You got to have some rhythm too.
Hey, those dudes are dancing their tails off. To what song? I don't know, but they're getting it.
I'm a little surprised you didn't know that.
No, I'm saying they're all.
The tune is what I'm talking about.
I know this tune. I'm saying
okay.
they're dancing this, and they must have headphones on.
First down for LSU as they begin at their 11-yard line. Could be the final play of the first quarter. Alfred Blue. We talk about the incredible number of outstanding backs with this committee. He takes it ahead. Carol Washington, number 21, making the stop. Blue, or Jared Collins, I beg your pardon, 29, making the tackle for the Razorbacks. The Battle of the Boot is underway. The rivalry that is the state of Arkansas and LSU. For many years, they met in bowl games when one team was in the Southwest Conference. But since '92, they've been neighbors within the SEC.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to Baton Rouge, where we're starting the second quarter. And it is the day after Thanksgiving, but there's been nothing sluggish about LSU's offense today. They've been getting it early on in the ball game. Zach Mettenberger finding Landry Jones, and then Terrence McGee picking up where he left off from last week running the football, but he wasn't by himself. Hill on the reverse to Odell Beckham Jr. to get those linebackers to loosen up, and then finally Terrence McGee show again, running through arm tackles, getting it done. LSU's offense underneath Cam Cameron, Tim, has been explosive this year, and we're seeing it today.
They really have. And let me say this about Cam Cameron, okay? There are going to be a lot of head coaches around the country looking for a reasonable facsimile thereof in their future. Not the least of which is, there's Cam right in the middle. You can circle him there for us, Aaron, shortly after we have this play. Cam has made a huge difference in this offense, and specifically Zach Mettenberger. On second down, Blue. And he forges ahead for multiple yards out to the 27-yard line. Cam was on the staff with Bo Schembechler and Les Miles back in 1986. In fact, coached Harbaugh in his final year there. Jim Harbaugh. There's Cam. John Chavis is just to the left, the defensive coordinator, the big chief. But there's no denying that that kind of hire and the means to pull it off by LSU and Les Miles is going to be something that will be copied by other programs in the country and in the conference soon. Jeremy Hill ahead for 5 yards. And let's get to New York. Adam Zucker with us up. There may be some conversation about that, but remember, in Bo Pelini's career, Adam, he's never won fewer than 9 games in a season and has gotten to a few Big Ten title games. Maybe some calling for it, but I rather doubt it. Quick pitch to Jeremy Hill. He's ahead to the 37-yard line. Brooks Ellis again, the middle linebacker. We're calling this young man's name quite a bit, and they absolutely love him in Arkansas. Chris Ash, their defensive coordinator, cannot stop talking about the level of responsibility they've heaped on him.
Yeah, and he's only a true freshman. Already got 5 tackles today. Because he's a freshman, he's young. You see him there, he looks pretty lean, but he's got tremendous instincts. He's going to have to get physically stronger in the weight room. The springs will help him that. But he's finally starting to understand this defense, and as a result, Tim, he flies around and makes a lot of plays for the Razorbacks.
Third down, less than a yard. Copeland and Hill, the setbacks. Following Copeland, Hill burrows ahead for the first down. That was the 40 to the 41-yard line.
And that was about 3rd and 6 inches, Tim. When you're having so much success on 1st and 2nd down, there's no mystery as to why LSU leads the country in 3rd down conversions.
Bennett and Jones collaborated on the stop for Arkansas.
This would be right about the right time of the game when they're having success and has Arkansas back on their heels trying to load the box to take a shot over the top as we see a penalty flag thrown.
Substitution infraction, offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Logan Stokes, reserve tight end. And I believe an explanation now coming from the linesman for Les Miles about that substitution pattern. And you saw Les said, yep, it was Stokes. The kid from Muscle Shoals snuck in there and was tagged with the foul.
And penalties were a problem for LSU last week against Texas A&M. Probably the only blemish for that game. They had 13 for 111 yards. Can't afford to be that undisciplined against a team like Texas A&M, but they figured it out.
Dylan Gordon, the other tight end, takes out to the top of your screen. Mettenberger in trouble. Not known for having quick feet. Zach decides to live to fight another day as Jones comes through. Brian Jones with the tackle, the big defensive tackle for Arkansas.
He's lined right up over the center. Just a extremely strong and powerful club move by Brian Jones, a 6'2", 318-pound senior. And you see what pressure does. It helps your back end because here comes Jarvis Landry across the middle of the field, wide open. That's what pressure up front can do to you, Tim. We talked about it. That's Arkansas's strength, and they showed it on that last play.
First negative play for the Tigers all day. It comes after a 5-yard penalty. So it's 2nd and 25. Pressure off the corner, a little middle screen out to Jeremy Hill. And he's ahead to the 34-yard line. Again, Brian Jones makes the stop, 7-yard gain. My guess is this Brian Jones is a little more quiet than our Brian Jones.
But they're about the same size, though, Tim. Look at him. Same gut.
Now, I called some of his games at Texas. He would beg to differ with that.
Brian Jones was an excellent football player. We actually played against each other when he was with New Orleans. We haven't found that tape, but I'm very much looking forward to when we can.
3rd and 18. Mettenberger looking for the sideline route to Landry, but he was well defended. Actually, that was Traven Doral, 83 rather than Landry, that was trying to run a streak down the sideline.
Yeah, and there was little pressure in his face, too.
Yep.
Trey Flowers came across the middle in the center. Elliott Porter.
Yeah, Doral gets pushed out here by DJ Dean.
And I think that's the way you have to be able to defend these explosive receivers, is be physical. Take the game to LSU, and Arkansas is doing that early.
Jamie Keene boots it away, and it's taken on the bounce by Javante Herndon, and he spun down at the 13-yard line. Well, the Tigers for the first time went the other way. Forced a punt formation for the first time. Razorbacks have it with Brandon Allen when we come back. Cue the duck on the day after Thanksgiving. How many states, our Aflac trivia question, how many states have hosted the Arkansas LSU game? Now, it'd be easy, obviously, to think 2, but if you dig a little deeper into the history of this rivalry and where these two teams have been located from a conference standpoint, it might be a little different.
Well, I looked up the answer, and I got it right with my first guess.
Oh.
It was a 100% guess, but it happened to be right. That's how I made it through college, Tim.
First down for Arkansas from their 13-yard line. Hunter Henry is the tight end in motion. He sets up a block for the safety valve on the receiving end. Kiero Small, who already has a Razorbacks touchdown today out of the Wildcat earlier. That's a pickup of 9 on first down.
And very different play calling today for Arkansas. You take a look at their first 3 possessions: punt, touchdown, punt. But Arkansas showing a concerted effort to throw the football, only averaging 3 yards per carry today. But you can get 9 yards on first down throwing the football and break some tendencies. They might get back to it, but at some point, if Arkansas is going to win this game, they got to get to their bread and butter, which is running the football.
2nd and 1. Nice stiff arm by Williams. Look at him go out to the 34, and we've got a marker down. Ricky Jefferson, the free safety, forced into a start today because of the injury to Corey Thompson, dragging him down.
Might be a face mask there, but excellent run by Jonathan Williams, being patient, following his blockers.
May be against Williams, though. It may be the stiff arm that got into the headgear of Jefferson. I think that may be what this discussion is about.
He was a little too stiff.
Personal foul, face mask, number 32, offense.
Yep. Does
Personal
go
foul,
against Jonathan
unnecessary
Williams.
roughness, defense, number 59. Those penalties offset. Replay second down.
Well, they got Jamari Rasco, too, to balance things out, so they'll replay the down.
See right there, he's got the stiff arm, but it stays on the face mask. He's manipulating his face right there, and right in front of the linesman who catches him. Throws a penalty, but LSU again with the penalties, negating what could have been pretty advantageous penalty against Arkansas by coming up with one of their own.
So we're back to 2nd and 1. A do-over.
Weak side ISO.
Williams ahead for the first down to the 27, maybe the 28. DJ Welter, number 31, junior from Crowley, Louisiana. Notre Dame High making the stop.
Tim, and how about these freshmen? Williams and Collins. Jonathan Williams, obviously a sophomore, but man, over 1,800 yards and 8 touchdowns on the year. We're talking about the bright future, particularly on the offensive side of the ball with that duo running the football.
Well, if Corliss Marshall's in there, we're talking about another freshman. So it's a duo that really has turned into a trio late in the season. Stepping up, Allen for a wide open receiver. The pass was underthrown and is knocked away by Jefferson, 29, coming back there. The pass was intended for Javonte Herndon. That pass hung up there. It was there for the taking for Arkansas.
We used to play this game called 3 Flies Up as a kid, and this reminds me of that. A little bit of pressure there. Allen has to step up, but just doesn't have the arm strength to be able to get it to the wide open Javonte Herndon. Just a good job breaking on the football that time by Ricky Jefferson, who's making his first start today for Corey Thompson.
Well, once again, some pre-snap movement. Alexander's been tagged twice. Anthony Johnson, I beg your pardon, has been tagged twice with encroachment. This could be procedure.
Offside. Defense.
Nope.
Number 90.
That's 3 times.
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
3 times Anthony Johnson has been whistled for offsides, trying to anticipate the count. He's in disbelief. He's arguing that he's being drawn. Can't happen 3 times to me.
Watch the football, young man.
Alex Collins has come back in at running back on 2nd and 5.
Watch the football. Second and 5, Tim, is the hardest down besides 1st and 10 for coordinators to defend because of the options that you have from a play calling standpoint.
Looks like man coverage, and because of that, the quick slant is thrown to DeArthur Cowan right in front of Jalen Mills.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that defensive coordinator John Chavis would like to do. He likes to run a lot of press man, put some pressure on the athletes, the best athletes on the field on that defensive side of the field, and his units typically have an opportunity to respond as we're taking a look at him right there. When all else fails for John Chavis, run man coverage and blitz.
Jamari Rasco came off the field hurt on that last play for LSU, and right up the gut goes Collins near midfield. Just a yard shy of a first down. Welter again, 31, making the stop.
Just a good, tough run in between the tackles. The lead draw. Following your offensive lineman, following your fullback, getting a hat on a hat. This is that run game that we talked about Arkansas needing to do. They're throwing just enough to keep LSU honest. But again, this is a team that's averaging over 200 yards per game running the football. They want to take it downhill.
Jordan Allen, number 98, has come in for Rasco.
Man, whole left side of the field's wide open. Okay, they bring somebody down on the line.
2nd and 1. Don't think he made it. Just shy of midfield. Lamine Barrow making the stop. Young man from John Aaron High School and senior that we talked to the other day. This is a very meaningful game for him.
Yeah, he comes unblocked off the edge, and he's one of those players, local kid from the New Orleans area, Talked a lot about how this team has become his family, his extended family, having some issues. But this is 3rd and inches, Timmy. Arkansas desperately needs to get this, especially with the ball at midfield, and keep this drive going.
Small is the up back. It's the quick toss into the boundary. And it's Javonte Herndon coming across from the wide receiver position. They've run a lot of misdirection and reverses with him. They put him at that position along with Kiero Small and then ran the quick. Looks almost like an option, but really not, into the boundary.
Yeah, it's called a naked pitch, and it's a good job. It's a misdirection play, and you run it because you want to get leverage on the defense on the outside. They run this to the boundary, and a big missed tackle that time by number 29, Ricky Jefferson. Good job getting out in front. But that offensive line, the tackle, Bray Cook, being out in front. Guys are making effort trying to get downfield as Arkansas goes hurry up here.
Got a wide open tight end, Henry. Touchdown, Arkansas. And that time going hurry up really helped Arkansas. LSU was not prepared defensively in that sequence.
Spot on, partner. And that's exactly why these teams do it. After big sudden change or after big plays and first downs, get the defense on the hill. You see pre-snap guys are still trying to get lined up, and because of that, nobody covers what's going to be a very good player and has a bright future here for Arkansas, and that's Hunter Henry.
Yeah, they simply were not lined up. Walker with the extra point. Well, as favored teams sometimes find out in rivalry games, it can go against you. The Razorbacks playing loose and throwing all of the opportunities they have in from that offensive standpoint. With along with Eric Taylor and Christina Ackman, Tim Brando here in Baton Rouge. The day after Thanksgiving, and LSU is tied up with the Razorbacks. Both offenses really moving the ball quite well, getting what they want to have done.
Yeah, and Zach Mettenberger's a big reason why, but Odell Beckham Jr. at some point will have to get involved in this game. Already had 1 catch for 20 yards, but seems to be favoring his leg there a little bit, and you wonder if it's a hip flexor or what's going on with him physically. We'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the game, but he's a big weapon for this Tigers offense.
Remarkable family tree. His mom a track star, his father played football here. Alfred Blue is back deep for LSU.
He also plays decoy a little bit, Tim. He was the decoy for Johnny Football last week.
Yes, he was. Handled the scout team duties in preparation for that game. Tigers will have it 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line when we come back.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. We've got a tied ball game here, 14-14, and one guy to keep an eye on, like the guys mentioned, Odell Beckham Jr. is apparently still dealing with a sore back that he suffered in that game against Texas A&M. He did go in the locker room briefly. He is back out here doing some minor stretching, kind of favoring the back. He's been on the bike, doing some high knees, but guys, definitely keep an eye out for Odell Beckham Jr. and that sore back he's dealing with.
Well, they use him so much, Christina. Thank you. A second in the nation in all-purpose yards. And what a valued commodity someone like Odell Beckham is. And like Jarvis Landry, no one goes to the ball in the air any better than Odell Beckham Jr. First down for LSU from the 25. McGee is the setback, and he takes it. This one will be for negative yardage. First time. He had 2 carries for 52 and 2 touchdowns earlier. Loses a yard that time. Jermichael Winston, number 6, making the tackle for Arkansas.
Darius Philon also in there. And I got to tell you, Tim, LSU better be careful now. They're coming off the game where they played as well as they played up front. They can't afford too many plays like that and keep Arkansas believing that they can win this ball game.
Now, the longer the underdog hangs around, the more confident they become. He again twisting, turning, and now dragged down at the 28.
Tim, I love what I'm seeing out of this defense. There's a lot of red helmets around the ball carrier. Arkansas defensively is flying to the football. See DeMarcus Hodge and those players up front. This LSU offensive line has some guys that maybe have some potential to play on the next level as early as this year and leave early as some juniors. But right now, Arkansas feeling pretty confident and doing a good job on this series of controlling the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 7 out of the shotgun for Mettenberger.
This is Arkansas' strength. Panera's back, but after the quarterback.
That's running out of time and now runs right into a sack. Beautiful work by Trey Flowers, 86, one of those bookends. Talk about guys that will be playing on Sundays in the future. This young man from Columbia High School, Huntsville, Alabama, will.
You can't script it up any better defensively than doing what you do here. Flowers just coming off the right tackle side, staying alive, spins out of it, and falls back inside and is able to get Zach Mettenberger on the ground. And the reason he did that was because of tremendous coverage down the field by the secondary.
A low boot. It does get a bit of an LSU roll that will help that punt out. But not one of the better efforts for Keene that time. He does get 45, but about 20 of it on the roll. He mishit that one. Timeout, 4:18 remaining until the intermission here at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. All right, how many states have hosted the Arkansas-LSU game? Our athletic trivia answer. Well, you got the states right, or the number right, but did you get the states right?
Does Guam count? It
No,
never got played in Guam.
No, it never did. It was Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Texas. By the way, the Ice Bowl back in 1947, a wintry day, temperatures in the 20s. LSU held Arkansas to just 54 total yards, 1 first down. LSU got into the red zone with Y.A. Tittle 5 times, could not score a single point. Y.A. and Alton Baldwin of Arkansas were selected as the game's outstanding players. And you're thinking Tennessee, the game was actually played in 1909 in Memphis one year. Head coach Hugo Besdick referred to his team in a speech to students as having played like a wild band of Razorbacks hogs. And the students voted to change the mascot from Cardinals to Razorbacks after that. That's first down for Corliss Marshall. Look out! More yards on the ground surrendered so far in this first half by LSU than the entire game against Texas A&M last Saturday. And Greg Lawson ushers him out after a 32-yard gain by the speed merchant from Osceola, Arkansas.
Running weak side into the boundary on a weak side ice. We used to call that 53 ice. You have to be able to have some sort of secondary pursuit. The linebackers not there, the safety's not there, and the big hogs for Arkansas taking control early in this ball game in the second quarter.
Look at that. And that's a team that's got Johnny Manziel on it. Alex Collins now in the backfield. Play fake to him. Now Allen looking long. He finds in the corner. The ball is picked off. Intercepted. Jalen Mills. And another example of a ball coming out late and underthrown. And it's been really the Achilles heel of this Arkansas team all season long.
And that's a shame. You like the play call, but it's poor execution. Just play action pass. You just gash him on the perimeter. Now you just run a bootleg. Good job of him setting up and setting his shoulders. But the ball, to your point, Timmy, is underthrown. It's late, and it's on the inside. Jeremy Sprinkle just simply did not have a chance to be able to get after that football, and as a result, that may be just the spark that this LSU team needs to be able to start to take over against Arkansas. Arkansas had some tremendous momentum going into that last series, but now they give the ball back.
Well, that has unfortunately been the problem for the Razorbacks all season long. And to, again, Allen has been hurt. Shoulder problem earlier this year, setting him back. A.J. Derby had to play quite a bit as he missed some games. You see Jeremy Hill carrying it ahead for 5 yards for the Tigers. Jarrett Lake wearing the number 98 today. Lake, the outside linebacker, normally wears 39. One of the team captains for this Razorbacks team, Robert Thomas, broke his ankle earlier this year. And what Brett Bielema decided to do was honor one of the players on defense by having him wear Robert Thomas's number. Each game, one of the defenders has done that. This week it's Lake, as you see Hill out ahead again for another 5.
Yeah, Lake's a pretty versatile player. They started him out as Sam, then moved him to Will, the weak side linebacker, then had him playing in the middle at the Mike linebacker. And now he's finally back to Will, which is probably his ideal position. 6'3", 235, got some nice size. He's the type of player, as a senior, that's going to be missed on this team, and a big reason why third on the team in tackles.
On first down, Mettenberger looking for Landry on the post. Just a bit overthrown, isolated with Tevin Mitchell, number 8 for Arkansas.
Well, that time Zach Mettenberger had the opposite problem of Brandon Allen. His was a little early and a little overthrown. But we talked about Jarvis Landry just driving into the receiver. Good move inside. Anytime you can get behind and inside on a post route, it should have been a touchdown. Really nice job of running that route against Tevin Mitchell. But the ball just being underthrown, and hey, that's what Zach Mettenberger does. When you watch this young man throw, he can spin it. Tremendous arm strength.
Needed a little more air underneath that one. On second down. Benson for Hill underneath, and Jeremy Hill has a first down. To the 42-yard line, and it's Jarrett Lake, again 98, making the tackle out of Jenks, Oklahoma. Jenks High School, 12-yard gain.
Tim, it's plays like this where you really see Cam Cameron, his imprint and the impression he's made on Zach Mettenberger. Keeping his eyes downfield, there's nothing there. He doesn't force the ball. He takes the check down. Take what the defense gives you, and that's a big reason why a lot of NFL scouts are looking to Zach Mettenberger because of how he's been coached by Cameron.
Again, under duress, ball is loose. Arkansas says they have it. And they do. Brooks Ellis with the hit. The fumble forced by Mitchell and the recovery by Ellis. 34 with the hit, 51 with the recovery.
Arkansas this year has had 25 sacks coming into this game, and ball security is of the utmost importance. And this is, if you're an Arkansas team, this is what it is you try and do. They just run a double weak side cross dog.
Yep.
Pressure off the outside edge. That offensive line of LSU that played so well last week lets guys come free, and Zach Mettenberger in that hole. He's got to feel that pressure. It's right in his face. Doesn't have time to react and tuck that ball away. Mitchell does a good job drawing him free.
So the Razorbacks with a tremendous opportunity before the half to take the lead. Jonathan Williams in the backfield, and he'll carry it forward to about the 26, where forward progress is stopped. Gain of about 3. Welter, 31, the first to make contact.
This is basically like a do-over for Arkansas. They threw an interception in the end zone, gave the ball back to LSU, but their defense for Brett Bielema is starting to show up and make plays. This is what you have to do. There is some talent on this Arkansas team. I think for Brett Bielema to be able to get a win today against this LSU team, this is a season saver if the Razorbacks can pull off, especially coming to this game being 24-point underdogs.
Look at those rushing yards. Now, understand that in college football, sacks count against your overall rushing game, but still, that's a lot given up as you see that pass incomplete, intended for Herndon, knocked away by Rashard Robinson, the freshman who was the SEC Freshman Player of the Week for the job he did against Evans, Mike Evans of Texas A&M, right here on CBS this past Saturday.
I mean, that was pretty gutsy of John Chavis to start Rashard Robinson against Mike Evans, but what a good job that he did being able to do it. This is a big third down again for Arkansas. Watch draw, watch screen from this formation.
Williams is the setback. They now move back into the shotgun.
Pressure off the edge.
Clock winding down on Allen. And it's the slant, and it's caught at the 16-yard line. Julian Horton with his first grab. It's not been the kind of senior season he had hoped for. Scored on an end around last week in that game against Mississippi State. They used both he and Herndon on that play. Something LSU's defense had to have scouted before this afternoon's game. First and 10.
Screens, draws, delays again out of this shotgun formation.
Under a minute remaining in the half. A pump fake and a beauty. thrown to the corner, incomplete. Horton, the intended receiver again. And he was defended by Tre'Davious White, another one of the outstanding freshmen from Green Oaks High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. Young man's got a tremendous ceiling to play in this league for a long, long time. The same hometown as Mo Claiborne, now playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Claiborne, a Fair Park product. 2nd and 10. Twin tight end look for the Razorbacks. Play fake again. They go the opposite way to the tight end, Henry. And he's down at the 5 as Lawston undercuts him there. A pickup of 12. 1st and goal, Razorbacks. 2 timeouts left. 44 seconds left on the clock.
Very impressed by the play calling of Jim Chaney because of how difficult LSU makes it for you to be able to run the football when you get down low. John Chavis doesn't like to be run on, gets in that bear defense, and the further teams get down into the red zone, the more people he brings into the box. But again, the bread and butter of Arkansas is running the football. It'd be interesting to see what they dial up here, Tim. This is a big series for them.
Williams ahead to about the 2, and down there you saw the graphic moments ago, the numbers in the 2nd quarter. It has been owned by Arkansas. 136 to 24 before that play, and the timeout taken with 13 seconds left. You better not have your mind on the future or the holiday season when you're playing a rivalry game. It's exactly what LSU better be thinking.
They know it's man coverage.
Over the middle, incomplete.
There might have been a little contact on there, Tim.
Pass was intended for Hatcher. Jalen Mills was defending.
Ricky Jefferson was a little tight on this crossing route, this shallow cross. You see him right there.
Yep.
Some late pressure there, and here's Arkansas and the Wildcat, the same formation they scored the touchdown on earlier.
Piero Small again. Well read by Lawston. The veteran safety comes up to make the play. Well, a tackle for loss was exactly what you needed in that sequence. Only 1 tick left and a timeout taken by Arkansas.
There's Lawson there. Had a huge game last week. 7 tackles and an interception. And when you read that, somebody has to set the edge of the defense. Lawson attacks, keeps his outside shoulder and arm free, and comes up with a huge touchdown-saving tackle. It's his 6th of the day, Tim. 6 for 6. He's an impressive player with a bright future.
They are going to add, I think, maybe another second or 2. They'll get it up to 3 seconds. But still, this would be the final play of the half. The field goal try coming for Hocker, who has been outstanding in field goals this year. 11 out of 13. Only 1 blocked. A little surprised they didn't throw it there. Might have gotten two plays in rather than 1.
Well, they had some success earlier in the game loading the line of scrimmage. I don't mind the play call, but the execution at the bottom line was LSU controlled the line of scrimmage out there, and Lawson just had a great read and came upfield to set the edge.
It is 4th down, but my point would be you have options here to maybe get another play in if you can.
In a game like this, Tim,
this is a rivalry game.
No question.
You got nothing to lose. You have a zero conference win.
Take the points and go into halftime with some confidence, without question.
And Hocker puts it through. They have just absolutely dominated LSU in the 2nd quarter. And it's their first lead of the afternoon, and it comes with no time remaining in the 1st half. They outscored the Tigers 10-0 in this quarter. Well, that's the end of the 1st half with our score 17-14. Let's go to our studios now and Adam Zucker. Adam? Here in Baton Rouge, 10 unanswered for the Razorbacks in the second quarter. They lead 17-14. Here in our Home Depot SEC on CBS matchup. And let's go downstairs. Christina Acro with Les Miles.
All right, Coach, let's look specifically at the second quarter. They outgain you 138 points to 24 yards, excuse me. What are you going to make correcting in the second half?
Well, we gave up 3 sacks that we just can't give up. You know, we're going to have to protect our passer. We like our throws. We're going to continue to throw the football. We made some adjustments there in protection. We should be better. Defensively, they ran the football well, and then we busted coverage several times. We got a young guy in a position he was unfamiliar in and gave up a big pass. So we feel like we've made those adjustments, got to play the slant a little bit better, and let's go play tackle football.
Give me an update on Odell Beckham Jr. He seems to be dealing with some soreness over here.
Yeah, he's trying to loosen up. I don't know exactly if we'll get him back or not. It's the good news is not serious.
Thank you, Coach.
See ya.
It would be serious, though, if he couldn't play in the second half, at least for the outcome of this game. He's been LSU's big play guy. As you look at the stats, certainly the quarterback sacks affecting the overall rushing yards, but LSU was very effective running the football early in this game, particularly Terrence McGee.
And that's what they have to be able to get back to, Tim, is running the football. This offensive line that played so well last week has to be able to get in some second and third and manageable situations. Those 3 sacks that Les Miles talked about is the strength of the Arkansas defense. They have to stay away from that.
And this Razorbacks team is pumped. They are excited. They were coming out of the chute to open this second half, and you could feel how exhilarated they were. And this is a team, when you unpack them, you know they are better than 0-7 in the conference. They really are.
There's no question. We talked about it being senior day for LSU. What I did mention is that I was crying before and after the game because it took us too long to be able to get going against Boston College. That tryptophan from all that turkey that LSU ate certainly seemed to affect them in the second half. They just need to be able to come out and execute and do the things that they're capable of doing, but they might have created a monster because Arkansas believes they can win the second half as well.
Brett Bielema in his first season at Arkansas, I believe he felt he'd come into this final week looking for his first conference win, but his guys have not wavered. They've stayed with his process, and that kick is deep enough into the end zone that it will not be returned. Alfred Blue decides not to take it out. And speaking of Brett, earlier, just as halftime was getting underway, Christina chatted with the Arkansas head coach.
All right, thanks, Tim. Coach, 123 rushing yards in this first half. Very successful in the ground game. Is this the best you've been able to run the ball in a half all season?
We've done some good things. Obviously, we got to capitalize it. We can't get ourselves down here in a great situation and turn the ball over. We run it every play. We might do that if we keep having success. But I like the way our guys are playing. I like the 2 defensive stops in a row, and it's a 4-quarter game. I'm excited to be here.
I hear you're telling your players coming off the field, 1 more half. What's the message going to be in that locker room?
Well, we've done well at times. We played a 3-quarter game, a 3.5-quarter game. We played a 4-quarter game, didn't win it in overtime. I want to put together a 4-quarter game. If we go to overtime, we're going to be the last ones off that field.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Quick pitch to Jeremy Hill on first down. He's ahead for 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Brooks Ellis, middle linebacker, making the stop. Oh, what Brett Bielema was talking about is so accurate to finally finish a game. And Jim Chaney, his offensive coordinator, said the same thing. We've been close. They have stayed away from negative yardage on first down, which with this offense is really a good thing.
Yeah, there's no question. And that's his bread and butter is the offense. But this defense really needs to be able to find ways to continue to get themselves off the field by winning on 1st and 2nd down. And 1st down was won by the Razorbacks on that last play.
Hill following Neighbors, the fullback, and the late burst gets him beyond the 30 to the 32-yard line, and the tackle made by Darius Philon.
And I like this, Tim. I mean, LSU starting this second half, trying to run the football. It's about rhythm. There's nothing worse than an offensive lineman coming out all lathered up and frothing at the mouth and having a pass block. When you're run blocking, you're aggressive, it's downhill. When you're pass blocking, it's passively aggressive. But here they may need to throw on 3rd down, but watch the screens, draws, or delays as well.
Quick slant is caught at the 40-yard line. Good for the first down. Travis Dixon, number 41. Tight ends coach Steve Ensminger, a former LSU quarterback in 1979 with David Woodley back in the days, high on his tight ends, but they haven't used them in the offense quite as much in recent years. If you look at Odell Beckham Jr., Doesn't appear ready to get in anytime soon, does he?
No, especially with that hat on. He's trying to keep his body temperature up and that core temperature. He may be out for a while.
Play fake. They go to Neighbors, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. He's ahead to about the 43. A negligible gain. Braylon Mitchell making the stop. He's the guy that forced the fumble, you might recall, of Mettenberger, which enabled Arkansas the chance to get that late field goal to take the lead.
Yeah, and that was really kind of the secret to the sauce for Arkansas in this first half, was kind of bending but don't break. They gave up some big plays, but they also made some as well, as we see a flag on this play. This one may be coming back to me.
Hill is ahead for first down to the 42, but we will check that marker thrown in an area where either a hold, two flags are actually down, thrown in different locations. Zach may have gotten into that rarefied air of over 3,000 yards with that last completion a moment ago.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined.
Well, because of the negligible
Before the
gain.
play, false start on the offense. Motion on the offense, I'm sorry. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
So they'll take the first penalty. I talked about it a moment ago, and there it is. Over 3,000 yards. Third quarterback in school history to have achieved it. Well, Rohan Davey, people forget what an outstanding quarterback he was and leader at LSU. Nick Saban told me one of the greatest competitors he ever had while coaching at LSU was Rohan Davey. He took them to that first SEC title back in 2001 when they upset Tennessee. Tennessee team that could have played for the BCS title that year. Terrence McGee, the lone setback. And they quickly come with pressure to the Razorbacks. Mettenberger throws it right at the feet of McGee.
And see, Tim, this is the problem that you had. We talked about the pressure coming off the outside edge. Great move by Trey Flowers, navigating, coming off that outside edge. They run the back at him. They're trying to run a screen. McGee kind of gives them the okey-doke on the quick faux block there, but because of Flowers' quickness, he was able to get back there so fast that it disrupted the underneath screen.
3rd and 12.
One down lineman with his hand on the ground, but here they come.
Plenty of time for Mettenberger. That pass is tipped and intercepted. Pulled down by Alan Turner. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 37. Pass floated on Mettenberger. It was too high for Jarvis Landry. And on the tip drill, Turner picks it off.
You're going to see some late pressure off the right side of your screen. Right there by Zach Mettenberger. Kind of just gets him off of his spot a little bit. It's a little weird looking front. There's some late pressure. They're running some twists up there. You don't know if that affected the throw, but Zach Mettenberger uncharacteristically off target. And when you throw high over the middle, Tim, bad things happen.
That was Brandon Lewis, 89, that came with that late pressure, but that pass was just a floater. Got away from Zach. On 1st and 10, Allen goes to Kiero Small. Tackle made by Taj Jones, number 58. Senior linebacker from Sulphur, Louisiana.
LSU needs to wake up, Tim. They're playing lethargic and they're playing bad, and they're leaving too much slack in the line for a team that desperately needs a win. This could save Arkansas' season if they beat them there, and they keep giving them short fields by turning the football over.
On 2nd down, there's a wide open opportunity for Jonathan Williams. He got past the initial LSU surge, and then once he bounced off, he was able to set sail for 18 yards. The missed tackle by Jones, 58, enabled him to spring forward.
Keep your eye on Kiero Small, the fullback. Just a delay draw, bam, getting right up inside there, creates the seam and the two-way go. And how about the flexibility and the agility and feet of Jonathan Williams to be able to spin out of that? Boy, I tell you what, Timmy, the Razorbacks are taking it to the Tigers right now.
3 tight ends. Williams, the lone setback, he takes it towards the boundary. And is stopped about a yard behind the line of scrimmage by Daniil Hunter, number 94. And let's take a look at the Verizon Red Zone. The Razorbacks with the 22 touchdowns on 36 trips in, just under the national average of 63% for Brett Bielema. It's going to be a real confidence building victory for him. No postseason opportunities, so no additional practices, but recruiting could get off to a great start with a victory here against LSU.
Watch the stretch play.
Play fake. Allen with all kinds of time looking for Henry, the tight end, who was well defended by Tredarius Wright, number 16. Tredavious is awfully good. So is Lamine Barrow. Barrow was back there too, number 18.
Well, Timmy, this is what I think LSU was expecting as well, which is a stretch play, but it's play action, which is a great call. But again, extremely good coverage, and the safety coming over there late to help. But this is what allowed LSU last week to be able to beat Texas A&M, playing aggressive on the outside edge. But John Chavis down here likes to be able to blitz. This is a very big down for LSU. They have to force a field goal here.
Here comes the pressure off the corner on 3rd and 10. Deion Hatcher on the receiving end in front of Lawston. He is stopped at the 11-yard line. So 4th down and 2 coming up. Decision time. And they're going to bring in their kicker, Zach Hocker, to boot it through and get a 6-point lead.
Assuming that they make it, Tim, but we talked about it at the beginning of the game. Field goals were not going to beat this LSU team, particularly with as explosive as their offense can be.
28 yards the try. So an early turnover by LSU leads to more points for Arkansas. They close the half with a fumble by Mettenberger, open the half with an interception, and it leads to 6 additional points. And that's the margin for Arkansas. They've got the lead. Malzahn wants to do even more of in the spread attack against Nick Saban's defense. That's tomorrow. Vern, Gary, and Tracy will be on hand to bring it to you right after we preview it for 1 hour from our Studio 43 location at the Broadcast Center on CBS. Here's the kick from Hocker. Alfred Blue again, very deep in the end zone. Decides to, well, he thought about it, and now better of it, takes a knee. Now the Arkansas defense has been heard from today after a sluggish start, Aaron.
Yeah, early in the game, Byron Jones got the sack over the center, up the middle of the defense, and then they come off the outside edge, bringing pressure, and that pressure, Tim, has led to interceptions and costly mistakes for Zach Mettenberger in this LSU Tiger offense. It came off such a dominant performance last week against Texas A&M. You have to wonder if the emotions of Senior Day and the last time that this Tiger offense led by Zach Mettenberger heading into this game, if that's affecting their performance today.
LSU with only 42 yards total offense since the first quarter in today's game. Terrence McGee is in the backfield. Play fake to him. And rolling Mettenberger shoots it for Landry. Full extension on his part. It's caught at the 35. And let's go back to the studio for this forward up.
With San Jose right now, 27-21.
There's another young man, Adam, that deserves some consideration for the Heisman. Derek Carr and Jordan Lynch of Northern Illinois, 2 leaders of 2 non-automatic qualifying schools. And Fresno State trying to be the BCS party crasher this season. On 1st down, Mettenberger looking long for Landry, and again overshoots his man. About a step and a half too far for Zach with the 2 post routes that have been run, and you can see that he's not happy with himself.
No, he's not. They had Landry in motion, and he was there. He got inside and behind the receiver, but the ball was just overthrown, and that's several times that we've seen balls be off target for Zach Mettenberger on deep throws. He's got a gun, but he's just not on it.
The anxiety is there. I don't think there's any denying that Senior Day has gotten to Zach just a little today. There's McGee, nothing doing on the sweep, going to the wide side of the field. We touched on that Fresno State game. Don't forget, next week, after the SEC championship, the Mountain West title game will be coming your way here on CBS Sports late in the evening, and you'll be on hand to see that one Aaron Taylor, I know you're looking forward to it.
Oh, yes, I am. There's a couple good receivers in that game with Devontae Adams and Josh Harper. Probably the second best combination to what LSU has with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr.
3rd down and 9. Quick look in. That one was overthrown, but Landry, like that touchdown catch he had in Fayetteville last year, hands of Velcro, bringing that one in with one hand.
The way that Jarvis Landry attacks the football is so impressive. You have to have those big old meat paws as a receiver, and you also need your playmakers to step up and do something to energize the offense. It could have been that last play.
He and Beckham just own the football when it's in the air. Jeremy Hill, downhill, all the way for a touchdown. 52 yards for the sophomore from Baton Rouge.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered, Timmy. Just going back to that weak side zone play where they pin and pull. They pull the senior. Great blocking on the outside edge again by Lyle Collins, the left tackle. And Jeremy Hill goes for the touchdown untouched. Last week they did it running through arm tackles. This time it was perfect execution and blocking up front.
Their 3rd rushing touchdown, each of them 20+ yards. The others were from Terrence McGee. And Hill now has 100 total yards rushing on the day. But without Jarvis Landry making this play, not many guys can do it. He made it look easy. Jeremy would not have a chance, would not have had the chance to get downhill and into the end zone to reclaim the lead by 1. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smog, Verizon, Ford, and by Kay Jewelers.
I think it's definitely the turkey with a warm gravy. Maybe it's the last spoon or fork of food on the plate, you know, that has a little bit of salt and pepper and maybe a little bit of the turkey and gravy and some of the stuffing that would be there. And that right there, oh my goodness, right? That last bite's worth a lot.
There's only one Les Miles. You know, he's just so refreshing at times. He really is.
He is. And my problem is that there's never just the last bite. I always have to go back for another plate or two.
You know, and for those that think he's a little quirky at times, let me just say this. You never met Bo Schembechler. Bo was the same thing. And Cameron said that, I think, best. When he thinks of Les Miles, he thinks of Les's dad and of Bo. And if you happen to say something about Bo to Les, immediately you'll see the endearing effect it has on him. Schembechler was exactly the same. It's about the team, and a want to do this and a want to do that. Extra special guy. Let's take a look at that last touchdown by Jeremy Hill. 52 yards the run.
Keep a look at this deep shell cover 2 coverage. That's what sets us up, because they were worried about that slant that Landry Jones just had them. They overshifted their defense, and there's just simply nobody there. You see number 34, Braylon Mitchell, trying to be able to chase that play down from backside. He was walked out over the slot because of that play before of Jarvis Landry hitting him on the slant. That time LSU used the pass to set up the run.
That was his 14th rushing touchdown of the year, Jeremy Hill. Alex Collins is in the backfield, takes the quick pitch. Tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Jamarie Rasco, but he does manage to get ahead for a couple of yards before DJ Welter polishes up. That could have been a loss of 3 or 4, but he managed to gain 5 as a result. We had a wonderful night here, our crew here in Baton Rouge. A few places to have a quality Thanksgiving meal, and we had one ourselves last night. Jim Cornell, our director, Sellers Shy, our producer. I don't know that they cooked it, but they were certainly on hand.
Watch a stretch play here.
2nd and 5. Deion Hatcher on the quick curl ahead to the 40-yard line. Welter again making the stop, an 11-yard gain and another first down.
I tell you what, Arkansas not only took advantage of me and fooled me, but they fooled LSU that time. And you see Odell Beckham Jr. there taking his gloves off and gingerly walking what looks to be back into the locker room. That lower back injury and that contusion that he had certainly affecting his ability to be able to come out and help his team here in the second half.
On first down, Collins wrapped up immediately by Daniil Hunter, 94, at the line of scrimmage. In fact, lost a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11.
So impressed with Daniil Hunter and the way that he hustles and crosses face and gets after the football. But again, Tim, this is part of the 1-2 punch of those 1,000-yard receivers that have been so helpful and impactful for LSU this season behind the tutelage of their offensive coordinator, Cam Cameron. But now it's up to Arkansas trying to get their first conference win, and a big one it would be if they can get it done against the Tigers.
Allen throwing for Javonte Herndon, and he's got it at the 47-yard line, right in front of Tre'Davious White. That's a 7-yard pickup. And now on this particular down and distance, Hatcher has been sort of the go-to guy. 6 catches, 82 yards. Number 4, keep an eye on him. He'll line up along with Herndon up at the top of your screen. 4 is Hatcher in the slot. Herndon to the top.
Once again, they're in man coverage, and they got that box loaded. Look for quick slants, maybe some double moves.
Allen instead throws it incomplete, intended for Horton. Did you get the impression he had made up his mind where he was going no matter what?
Watching tape on him, Tim, you're absolutely right. He doesn't necessarily go through his read progressions, doesn't look safeties off as well as you'd like him to do, but that's what you're going to get with a young quarterback. He's staring his go-to target down the entire way.
And Hatcher, by the way, is open up at the top of the screen in man coverage. Well, let's see. Looks like they may be faking here. Now trying to draw the penalty, and would it be number 90 again? Anthony Johnson. That would be his 4th encroachment of the day.
Well, Anthony Johnson's one of the players that may have an opportunity to leave early for the NFL, but the scouts certainly aren't going to like how undisciplined he's been as a defensive tackle. Watch the football.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. The result of the penalty was a first down.
Yeah, I mean, on 4th down, you've got to know that's potentially coming.
You can't do it.
I mean, you just can't. 4th offsides penalty today for Johnson.
You know what it was? It was the hard count with the motion in the offensive line setting down. That's the movement that Johnson saw, perfectly executed and legal by Arkansas.
Henry, the tight end, gives motion and is now up at the top of your screen, along with Hatcher, number 4. Collins again. They have gotten about a yard, but that is all.
Yeah, a couple of the last runs that Collins has had, he's cut it back inside. When I was wondering if the right read would be able to bounce it to the outside. That pursuit for LSU in this second half has been a lot better where those cutbacks haven't been there.
Some of the underclassmen, you made a point of this, it is a time of year when some of the underclassmen that do have potential to play at the next level are thinking about maybe other things, and a couple of them admitted to that this week here in Baton Rouge. Lamine Barrow, though a senior, this is it. I mean, he is trying to hold on to every moment he's got, and he was involved in that tackle. Pierre Small, the safety valve coming out of the backfield, makes the grab. Wearing the number 18, which is a number that is near and dear to so many. After Matt Mauck, who claimed that national championship, the number was given to Jacob Hester, who was part of the national championship team back in 2007. It means a great deal to this young man out of Marrero, John Ehret High. He told us the neighborhood he grew up in, he never dreamt that he'd have a chance to play at LSU and be a senior on senior day here.
Having a nice game, 6 tackles already. They're going to need him to make some more.
A reverse action. Herndon spun down inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. Tackle by White. Well, tonight on The Late Show, don't miss Kelly Ripa. Plus, from How I Met Your Mother, Kobe Smulders. Followed by The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. Tonight, only CBS.
Well, Arkansas dialing up a reverse. We just talked about that pursuit backside by the linebackers. One way to take advantage of it's run reverse. And that time Arkansas got 8 yards because of it.
Going back to their resetting the play clock, apparently. Going back to Barrow for a moment. What an incredible story that was. He was telling us about his child who was in harm's way shortly after birth. Thought they might lose the baby. The coaches were there with him. These young men go through so much to make it to their senior years in our culture today. Fine young man. Enjoyed our conversation with him. We still have a problem with it, apparently. Our referee, Hubert Owens, coming over to perhaps talk with the booth upstairs. Is that Penn Wagers down there with him? I think it may be. Look like Penn Wagers. Another one of our referees. Fewer conference games, obviously, this week.
Hey, quarterback.
That's Penn in the dark top.
Where's T? Come here.
It's not operating properly. It will be kept on the field by the back judge.
Both the coaches have to be informed. So that'll take a little time for Brett Bielema to get word from Hubert Owens as well. But going back to our conversation with Lamine Barrow, when you hear those kinds of conversations, it humanizes the sport in such a manner that a lot of people forget.
Yeah, no question. I mean, football teams serve as extended families, and a lot of the backgrounds that some of these players come from, including my own, you know, the team serves to be that support network and that safety net. And when Barrow's daughter got sick in the spring before the national championship year, he said Les Miles was always one phone call away and always there to support him. That's extremely meaningful for these players.
On 2nd and 2, they fake the reverse.
Throw it away.
No one really open. They wanted to find the tight end Henry, but LSU really had him well defended. Rashard Robinson had a little help in double coverage, so they could not get it to 84.
Yeah, here he is at the top of the screen, going to come over and get out, but just a great job of falling off and sticking with him. Remember, we talked about he's not the speediest of receivers. He's not the type of guy that can split the seam on you and get north and south. And you wonder if Arkansas is going back to the well too much, trying to get the ball to 84 too many times in a row.
3rd and 2, but you wonder if it's 4-down territory. Allen with the out pattern to Herndon. That's a 1st down. We don't have to worry about whether it was 4-down territory. 1st down at the 20. Tre'Davious White, number 16, with the tackle.
Somebody has to be able to take the weak flat defender, and Arkansas just running a simple snag or pivot route, doing a great job by Javonte Herndon versus man coverage, and break Brandon Allen when he's got to throw the football short distances to the outside and the perimeter has been pretty accurate today and taking advantage of the Tigers out there in the flats.
All 3 wide receivers set to the wide side of the field. On 1st down, Allen looking for, and it's incomplete. Hatcher in the back of the end zone. Not a lot of room before hitting the restraining wall where that padding is located. Tre'Davious White giving chase. Number 16.
Yeah, that was pretty good coverage that time by Tre'Davious White, and Arkansas and Brandon Allen throwing the football. When they take those deep shots across the middle, LSU's just been in tremendous coverage, particularly in this second half. Where Arkansas's had success is those short to intermediate throws where the football's in front of Brandon Allen.
12th play of this drive coming up. It's wide open for Williams. And that's a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Jonathan Williams bursting right through a gaping hole.
Keep your eye on 2 people. Travis Swanson, the center, and the fullback Kiro Small both have good blocks. Great job. You want to know why Travis Swanson is one of the better centers in the country. That combination block on that backside swap where he doubles the nose tackle and gets up to the 2nd level on the linebacker is the key block and the reason Arkansas is knocking at the end zone here in the red zone.
Captain, preseason All-SEC, All-America performer. Williams again. Wrapped up this time by Anthony Johnson. They've been stopped at the line of scrimmage. Second down coming up.
Well, Arkansas has been so good down here in the red zone today, 4 for 4, and that's really been an area that LSU struggled a little bit. They like to blitz when they get down here, so I'd look for play action, maybe some screens, draws, delays, but running the football up the gut with a crowded box is going to be hard to do here against the Tigers.
Hatcher, the most targeted of the Arkansas receivers, number 4, is in the slot left.
Nice bubble to the left side.
Corliss Marshall alone setback. He's got it. Speed to get to the edge. Stopped just shy of the 2-yard line inside the 3. Pushed out by Jalen Mills.
Again, the naked pitch is a play that Arkansas has had some success on earlier today, and it's successful right there. Tell you what, Tim, from the 2.5-yard line, and if you're Arkansas and you want to make a statement, take control of the line of scrimmage up front. This is about want to. This isn't about scheme. This isn't about X's and O's. This isn't about John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, against Jim Chaney. This is mano y mano and about want to. This is a rivalry game, Tim. This is about the boot.
3rd and goal. Hatcher in motion, top of your screen.
Got him.
Looks for and finds his tight end Henry. Touchdown Arkansas. Off the play fake. His second today. 15 plays, 6:45 off the clock. Methodical, just the way Brett Bielema, the blueprint for his success, the kind of program he wants to run. You called it Wisconsin South. That's it right there.
No question. And right before that ball was snapped, Brandon Allen looked to his left and gave Hunter Henry a little bit of a nod. And I think John Chavis and that LSU defense was thinking run as much as I was.
And let's not forget the 4th down penalty. You know, deciding to give the look of a potential fake and then drawing the offsides from Anthony Johnson, number 90, for the 4th time today. Kept that drive alive. Stick-to-itiveness. So you say you're playing a team that's winless in the SEC. Well, they're still pretty good. Now it's time for our Home Depot Tools for Success.
Well, one of the things that Arkansas has been able to do is to be able to get themselves to the perimeter. This is just a pin and pull scheme where they're going to take their right tackle, Bray Cook, and get him out in space and be able to block first force of that cornerback. And then it's all speed, making people miss in the open field, and tackling was something that LSU knew that they needed to come in today and do a good job of, but they certainly overran that one, and the result was a huge play for the Razorbacks.
There you see the rush versus pass stat, and that's a great blend for Arkansas. Could not draw it up any better for them. We go back to the conversation we had earlier in the week with Brett Bielema, and you never, during our conversation, other than, hey, we just haven't won, he feels very good about this team and is not going to deviate. And he said some of the veteran players on the team have been stopping by his office to say, hey, coach, you okay? We know you've never been through this. Things are going to be all right. I mean, he really loves these guys, and especially the seniors, because he knows this is his only shot with them. And you really get the feeling that the optimism before the season is still with this team, while the record may not indicate it.
Yeah, no question. And I asked him, were there any encouraging or bright moments? I mean, certainly with the record that they've had, it's been kind of dark. You see him having some fun here on the sidelines. But he mentioned a moment where the players came up to him after a close loss and said, Coach, we got your back. And that let him know that he's doing the right things, that he hasn't lost his team, Tim, and you can't describe or explain away the way Arkansas has played today. It's clear that they are playing for Brett Bielema and this senior group, and right now they are outplaying the LSU Tigers.
He's been with some of the all-time best in coaching. Began as a GA, went on to coach linebackers at Iowa. You know, when you think of guys like Hayden Fry and Bill Snyder, Barry Alvarez, some of the best in the business he's been around, he's taken a little from each, and with his own edge has brought a charismatic hold to the process of being a head football coach. Again, Blue decides not to bring it out, and the LSU Tigers will have it at their own 25-yard line. Razorbacks lead it by 6, and they dominated play for the entire second quarter and have done much the same here in the third with only 50 seconds remaining. Mettenberger brings out his troops. See if the senior gets rid of that high anxiety. Mettenberger's been a little off target of late. (27-21) Arkansas with 50 ticks remaining in the third quarter. Third member of our broadcast team, Christina Acra, has more on the health and condition of Odell Beckham Jr.
That's right, Timmy. Earlier we said keep an eye on him. He was down here on the sidelines doing some light stretching, was on the bike trying to stay warm, but now he is back in the locker room. And LSU is reporting that he suffered a hip contusion today and is unlikely to return to the game today, Tim.
Well, that is not good news in terms of what they want to do in the passing game. And Kadron Boone is probably the third option as a wide receiver that they will turn to. Had a really good game against Georgia. They're going to have to find him or someone else because you got to expect Arkansas is going to be doubling Landry.
Well, I don't care who they put in there, but he better block, because what LSU needs to do in this fourth quarter at the end of the third is hand this football off. Stop being stubborn about it. Control the line of scrimmage and win this football game on the ground.
And just as you offered that up, Jeremy Hill takes it ahead to the 29-yard line for a gain of 4. Tackle made by Jarrett Lake. Beckham making his way back out. Looks like he may have put the purple stockings on.
Trying to keep that sucker warm.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times with low back injuries, it can affect your hip flexor and all the supporting muscles because the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. All that stuff in there is connected, so a hip contusion certainly could have affected his back and compounded it.
You learned that while at Notre Dame under Holtz, huh?
But L4 and L5 were blown out on me. I know all about it.
And Jeremy Hill again bounces through. Right on cue ahead to the 41-yard line for a first down. Jared Collins, 29, making the tackle after a 12-yard gain.
This is the point where LSU has to be able to take over the football game up front. Ground and pound. I mean, the third quarter is winding to a close here, but take it up front, baby.
The battle for the boot. It's on the line as we head for the fourth quarter, and we'll return to Baton Rouge with Arkansas leading by a score of 27-21 after this message and a word from your local CBS stations. As we prepare for the fourth quarter to begin, look at the scoring by quarters. Arkansas really taking control of the game in the second, carrying it through in the third after a quick turnover, although LSU did respond with a Jeremy Hill 52-yard touchdown run. But the boot is very much in peril in the state of Louisiana as we open the fourth with the underdog Razorbacks leading by 6. Tim Brando along with Aaron Taylor, Christina Acra, happy to have you with us. Landry becomes the focal point of the passing game, but as you mentioned, Aaron, they need to do it this way, on the ground with Jeremy Hill and more downhill. Ahead to midfield, Alan Turner, the free safety, makes the stop for Arkansas.
No question, Tim. I mean, that's the strength of this team, and that's the identity of this team, is running the football downhill. And here you see LSU's in a little bit of hurry up to try and get this first down.
Yep. You know what? Mettenberger with a second surge.
Look at that. He's still up on his feet.
He doesn't want to play his last game, and he doesn't want to go down either.
Tell you what, I enjoyed our visit with Cam Cameron. You see, Arkansas was just late to the party, and man, the left tackle, Lyle Collins, absolutely blowing dudes off the ball. Got to get ready, man. When that ball's there and that center's over the ball, as a defense, you have to get yourself set.
1st and 10. A tight set that they have. Very little room between the gaps.
Big guys in the box.
Old power I formation. Hill spun down at the 40-yard line. Thursday on CBS, the Victoria's Secret models reveal all to Robin Williams in a sexy new Crazy Ones. Thursday, 9, 8 Central, only CBS.
Well, I think LSU would be cray-cray not to keep running the football, particularly in between the tackles. They will, out of this set, run some stretch plays and get to the outside. Their bread and butter is going to be running the football.
Twin tight ends, J.C. Copeland, the fullback.
Watch for some play action here.
Right behind the 275-pounder, and Hill takes it to the 37-yard line. Again, it's Turner coming up to make the stop after a gain of 3.
Tim, several plays, we've seen some LSU players slow to get up.
Yeah.
And that's happened again here. But Jeremy Hill.
Look at that. 6th game with 100+. Ties second most in school history. There have been some great backs here through the years. You see Elliott Porter still down on the field, the center for LSU, number 55, out of Shaw High School. Another one of those highly intelligent players that Zach Mettenberger cited as being one of the difference makers for his football team this year.
Also one of the biggest jokesters on the team.
Well, there's a first down after the measurement. That means Ethan Posick, 77, will come in for Porter, who is clearly in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it's been a physical ball game in the trenches so far today. Keep your eye on Porter right there. Just walling off backside and bam. That's a bad angle right there.
Yeah. A takedown by one of his own players had something to do with that. Trying to come off the field under most of his own power. Has a little bit of assistance. We'll be right back.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Razorbacks running onto the field, decided to run while they got on the field. Javante Herndon with a reverse. Very effective on the ground, both teams early on with 123 first half rushing yards. Terrence McGee had 52 of his own on 2 touchdown jaunts to give LSU a 14-7 advantage. But shortly thereafter, it was Jeremy Hill after Landry made a wonderful catch, popping 3 for 52 yards, and LSU reclaims the lead. Only to see Hunter Henry on the receiving end after play action, the 3rd lead change of the day, as Arkansas leads it 27-21 with 13 and change remaining.
Yeah, Tim, today's game's really been defined by big plays in the running game for both teams, and LSU's running game is going to take a hit because Elliott Porter's out. They put in Ethan Posick, a freshman from Illinois, to take over.
Watch the center quarterback exchange, those kinds of things the rest of the way as McGee is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I would imagine LSU
McGee is stopped
to give Ethan Posick some time to kind of get settled down. We'll try and run on the perimeter a little bit. You mentioned it, center quarterback exchanges, cadence, all those sorts of things. When the center's affected, that's the point of the offensive team. Typically the guy that sets the defense, declares Mike, and all those things. I think Zach Mettenberger is going to have to step up and maybe take a little bit of that load off, because that's a lot to ask for a freshman.
Well, here we are at 2nd and 10. And a timeout's going to have to be called here. Kadron Boone had just come into the game. And you know Arkansas knows where number 80 is going to be lining up. Zach wants to talk about it with Les Miles. We'll be right back. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot, Dodge, AT&T, and by Chick-fil-A. (27-21), Arkansas with the lead over LSU, and a victory here could be just so important for the future of Brett Bielema and his Arkansas Razorbacks program in year number 1. Trying to get that elusive first conference victory, finish off a game, and a lot of consecutive losses for them. For Trey Flowers, an outstanding defensive end. As you look at our Red Lobster presents today's Scholar Athlete, how about the job he's done? An econ major. All right, as the defensive end, he's one of the best in the country, and Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the Arkansas General Scholarship Fund. He's not only Really good on the field, but also in the classroom. Great Flowers.
He's a guy that's got good ability, but he's a great technician, really tremendous understanding of the game and his opponent, and it showed here today.
Terrence McGee is the lone setback. 2nd and 10. Cadron Boone, whom we pointed out earlier, might be the next best option to Landry, is up at the top of your screen. Mettenberger goes to Jarvis Landry, and he's stopped right away at the 28-yard line by Jared Collins. Let's go back to the studio. Adam Zucker for a Ford update.
All right, Tim, thank you. Miami with a shot for a 9th win and still a shot to win the ACC Coastal Division. This is Stacy Coley going 73 yards. He has 3 total touchdowns, staying on his feet. Miami up 31-10 at the half on Pittsburgh. Still need a loss by Duke and Virginia Tech tomorrow to get to the ACC championship game. Tim?
That has been a beleaguered bunch since the injuries to Duke Johnson earlier in the year. Thank you, Adam. Mettenberger here throws it on the quick slant. Coming out of the backfield, Jeremy Hill to the 26-yard line. Jarrett Lake has the catch. Gain of about 6 or 7 on that play.
That's going to be pretty close to a first down. I think they're going to want to measure this.
I think they will. Yep.
See Les Miles there. Boy, he's got to be sweating bullets a little bit. His team's been a little lethargic, but that quick slant pass game, hitting Jeremy Hill on the Texas route out of the backfield, has been there. And Zach Mettenberger, we talked about how emotional he's been.
It was enough by half the length of the football. Listen, this is a proud program, and I thought they exhibited that in the victory against A&M last week. You know, they knew that they are supposed to be the kind of team that maintains double-digit victories, stays in the top 10 at the end of the year. And to do that, you've got to get to 10 wins after your bowl game opportunity. That means this win is a must for them in terms of the image of their program.
Side ISO.
Hill. Just inside the 22 to about the 21-yard line. Flowers again with the stop. Call it a gain of 5.
That time they just ran 17 power to the left side where they pull the backside guard, double team on the play side. Have the fullback kick out the tight end. It's one of the oldest plays in football and really part of the bread and butter here for LSU. And Tim, they have absolutely relied upon the run on this drive, and it's working.
Hill with 98 yards of rushing this half alone. Quick pitch to him behind Neighbors. And he catapults to the 17. Gain of about 4. Should be 3rd down and a yard.
Really impressed by Jeremy Hill and his vision and his ability to be able to find creases in the defense. Again, just a pin and pull scheme where they pull the line and they get out in front, and he puts his foot in the ground, Tim, and gets north and south like good backs do. See the fullback there signaling to Hill which way he thinks he's going.
Well, guess what? Arkansas felt the same way, and they stopped him behind the line of scrimmage. So now 4th down and 2 coming up as Flowers met him head on, number 86. Almost appeared as if the fullback may have given it away.
They've been doing this a lot. There he is right there. We talked about Connor Neighbors. A lot of times he's just telling them which backer he's going to take or where he thinks the hole's going to be.
I think he may have given it away that time.
But Arkansas, controlling the line of scrimmage, had other thoughts, and this is a big 4th down decision from LSU trying to go for it here.
It really is. They could have taken the points. They're going to go for it. This drive has lasted 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Up at the top of your screen, and Arkansas now decides to take a time. Well, they forced the Razorbacks to take a timeout. Let's see if Coach Miles decides to stay with that decision after this quick timeout. Arkansas leads it by 6 with 9:26 remaining. 4th and 2 coming up after a Razorbacks timeout. One of the things that Les Miles never really gets enough credit for nationally is his ability to inspire. He is one of the best in the locker room before any game begins, and this is one of those seminal moments in a given game where you determine, hey, we are supposed to make 2 yards. We are the better team. Let's make this play. Let's make it now. So we'll see if they can follow up on really where they believe as a program they are.
Yeah, they might be going a little bit light and showing a pass. Look, here's a rush to the line of scrimmage. In 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers. Maybe a draw here up the middle.
Last in the conference in this category. Let's see what happens on 4th and 2. Mettenberger. It's caught.
And he's short, Timmy.
He is short. At the 17, I don't think Jeremy Hill had enough. Trey Flowers was right there with him, peeling off to stay with him, along with Jarrett Lake, 98. Are they going to say he made it? No, he did not. Arkansas stops LSU in its tracks. Huge play for the Razorbacks defensively.
Man, you've been running the ball so well in this 4th quarter, Tim. 10 runs and only 2 passes on that last drive. Then you go to 10 personnel.
You know what?
In a 3-by-1, it's just great coverage that time by Jarrett Lake.
Yep.
They've had some success getting the football to Hill out in the flats. But just a little too little, a little too late, Tim. I would have ran the football there.
13 plays, 6.5 off the clock, no points. This is just the 6th possession of the half, the 3rd of the half for Arkansas. And Jonathan Williams takes it ahead to the 19. Maybe he was thinking he couldn't kick the field goal because you didn't know how many opportunities at possessions you'd have left, because both teams have had such long possessions in this half.
And I don't mind the play call. You're trying to win. Your team's lethargic. You've been running the football extremely well in the 3rd quarter and the beginning of the 4th, but the execution wasn't there, Tim.
Hill did not take enough yardage on the pattern.
You got to know where the sticks are, but man, run the football. 2.5 yards, come on.
2nd and 7. Little delay right up the middle. Jonathan Williams. And he's beyond the 25-yard line to the 26. Jalen Mills, that's 6 yards on the carry.
I can't tell you how much a win like this would mean for Brett Bielema and his team, buddy. On the road for LSU Senior Day, trying to avoid the first winless conference schedule in program history, and they've got a chance to do it. And let's see what Arkansas does here on 3rd and short. My guess is they don't throw it, Tim.
3rd down, a long one. A little bit more than a yard to go. You see that number of conversions from 3rd and short. And it is Williams. And I don't know. It's going to be very close.
I don't think he got it.
Late surge may have. Let's watch the spot. Is it a left or right foot spot? I think he got a right foot spot. And that, from that angle, is not going to be enough. One would think. We'll have to wait and see.
Looks a little short to me with the naked eye. But
when you're coming from the top end and you get a right foot spot, that's never a good thing. Left foot spot from one side, right from the other.
Just good surge that time.
Ferguson's leverage was really good, wasn't it?
And that's what he does. Look how he extends and crosses faces. That's exactly what you want to do in the hole. And Tim, that's against the center, Travis Swanson. That's future NFLer against future NFLer right there.
Well, here comes the stretch. A good half, maybe even more.
Now if you're Arkansas, what do? We saw Les Miles make a gutsy call.
You punt.
No way, man.
You punt.
Maybe that's why I'm up here in the booth and not a coach.
Well, I know you get emotional. I've got the bruises to prove it in the booth. 4th down and a yard. Sam Irwin-Hill has got that big leg of his that he can boot with either side, right-footed or left-footed.
And give credit to LSU's defense. They got themselves off the field after a huge stop where their offense sputtered deep down in the red zone. The Tigers' defense responds and forces the punt.
Jarvis Landry back deep, awaiting the ball about the 32. Remember, this is an area where Beckham would normally be the guy back there. And he'll angle it. And a fair catch called for by Landry at the 33.5. A 40-yard boot. What a stick by Ferguson. You got to have brawn. You got to have power. Doesn't hurt to have a little ego to go with it. Watch the leverage of number 9. You won't get there. You won't get there. They're short by a half yard. Tigers have it when we return to Tiger Stadium. Football Today coverage prior to the Auburn and Alabama game. 27-21 our score here. Arkansas with the lead, and you look at the last 6 Golden Boot rivalry meetings. LSU taking the last 2, and emotional wins in 07. Remember, that was Houston Nutt's last game coached at Arkansas with Peyton Hillis and Felix Jones and Darren McFadden, and they won 50-48 in triple OT. That LSU team that lost went on to win the national championship with 2 losses under Les Miles.
Houston Nutt had his boys ready to rock, baby.
Yes, he did. Terrence McGee is in the backfield. Play fake to him. McGee looking for Landry. And Jarvis reels it in for the first down at the 47-yard line. DJ Dean, number 1, the corner was there to cover.
Tell you what, that was a heck of a play fake. It got me too, but Jarvis Landry now is going to be the go-to guy, but puts his foot into the ground, just comes back for the football, showing you those great hands. And that's a good way to get some confidence back in Zach Mettenberger. Timmy, I think before this game's over, number 8's going to have to make some throws to win this thing for him.
Well, everyone in the world knows it's got to be number 80 that's the number 1 target in the passing game, what with Odell Beckham Jr. not in there. 1st and 10. Again, the play fake. Landry running the post. Pass is underthrown, but he made the adjustment. What a catch! What a remarkable catch by Landry. That should have been intercepted, and Mettenberger is down.
And he looks to be in pain.
He got hammered by Byron Jones.
Byron Jones has been winning at that center position. And remember, that's a backup center in there, Ethan Posick for Elliott Porter. And Mettenberger got walloped.
And McGee got hammered, too. He's banged up.
But
watch
how
this
about
catch.
The effort of Landry, man.
We made the statement. When the ball is in the air, no one adjusts better as a tandem than Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. That is just off the charts good. Great. 32 yards to Landry.
Landry's a playmaker for him, been doing it all season long. We see what he does on 3rd down, see what he does in the red zone, and here comes up with a huge catch, Timmy, but LSU has much bigger problems. Zach Mettenberger's looking in extreme pain, and it's on that leg that's heavily braced.
That's Anthony Jennings, the freshman from Marietta, Georgia, who may be coming in, and boy, our concern now for Mettenberger, whose knee has been a problem. He's been nicked up this year with it. You might recall.
It's hyperextended.
Looks like a hyperextension, doesn't it?
Oh, I can't watch.
And at the conclusion of the Alabama game, I think a lot of people remember watching Zach sort of crawling and then picking himself up and going back to the sidelines. Our colleague Gary Danielson talked about what that meant to the team in terms of his leadership capability, that he would pick himself up and carry himself off. We'll wait and see if he can do that again when we come back. Just a moment ago, a standing ovation for Zach Mettenberger. His final game at LSU as a senior. Interestingly, his running mate at Georgia, Aaron Murray, on senior day, torn ACL, done for his career. And we certainly wish Zach all the best as Odell Beckham comes to check on him. The crowd really into it now as Anthony Jennings comes into the game after an inspirational reception by Jarvis Landry of 32 yards. Puts the Tigers just outside the red zone at the 21.
Now the Tigers have a new center and a new quarterback.
And right away, procedure, it would appear. Preliminary indication.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Gerald Hawkins, redshirt freshman right tackle. And that will back them up. This is a very physical freshman that they've used on short yardage many times this year. Stephen Rivers is another backup from Athens, Alabama, the brother of Phillip Rivers, also on the roster for LSU as they take a look at that right knee that appeared to have been hyperextended for Mettenberger. Hill ahead for a couple, and that's it.
Now remember, LSU's been doing well by staying ahead of the chains, Timmy, because of that penalty. They're 7th of the game, and all of which have been pre-snap penalties. They're now behind the chains as another Tigers down on the ground.
Hawkins. This time it's Hawkins.
Tigers are falling apart right before our eyes. This will test your depth, and this is not what you want to have in a game like this, where there's emotion and physicality at the line of scrimmage.
Evan Washington likely to be called upon to come in for Hawkins, and he's already on the field, number 75. Let's quickly get an update now from Adam Zucker, the Heisman. All right, thank you, Adam. And boy, Andre Williams, a remarkable run for him, very quietly and under the radar, over 2,000 yards. As you see Hawkins making his way off the field. It comes very late in this play, number 65. Hill landed on Hawkins, it appeared. You see writhing in pain as he went down, and they'll take a look at him along the sidelines on 2nd and 12 as we come back to action with Anthony Jennings at quarterback. There's the pressure. He can run. It's ahead to about the 20. He's very good at tucking it and running it. Ahead for about a 3-yard gain there. It'll make it 3rd down and 9.
And remember, Arkansas can rush the passer with their 2 great ends, Trey Flowers and Chris Smith. This works to the advantage of the Arkansas defense. What will this backup quarterback do? They're in the red zone. A touchdown and extra point will put them up by 1. How do the Tigers respond?
Craven Durrell, Cadron Boone, and Landry, the 3 wide receivers for LSU. Jennings overthrown to the tight end Dixon. Boy, and he had it at the 16-yard line, but the pass was just a little too high. Let's go down to Christina Ackra, who's got an update on Zach Mettenberger.
Well, Tim, the medical staff is looking at him. It is his left knee. They don't know the extent of the injury. His mom standing right behind him with a very concerned look on her face. Zach obviously in some pain, but we're not sure exactly the extent of what has happened to Zach Mettenberger's left knee.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's, again, a knee that had been a problem throughout the course of the year, being nicked up. As you see, Colby Delahousie, they've decided now to opt for the field goal to make it a 3-point game. It'll be a 37-yard try. And they boot it through. Went on 4th down earlier, decided to take the 3 this time.
And had they taken those last 3 the last time, Tim, this ball game would be tied. More when we come back. Can the Razorbacks find a way to win? We'll see next.
Arkansas with a 27-24 lead, and don't forget, coming up later in our game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Trust me when I tell you the brain trust is trying to figure out which one that would be. And several for the Arkansas Razorbacks, and perhaps we haven't seen it yet. I'll tell you this, for remarkable catches, Jarvis Landry made one. LSU wouldn't be this close were it not for his ability as a contortionist to come down with a pass that was underthrown after Mettenberger had been hit by Byron Jones.
Unbelievable job of going up and getting that football, Tim, but with just under 5 minutes to go in this game and Arkansas with the lead, they're obviously going to go to the run game, and that 4-minute offense will be able to chew up the clock.
Yeah. You know, I think back to the toughness factor of Zach Mettenberger. Cam Cameron told us yesterday, he said, you know, he was weighing about 240. I said, you know, I think you might play better at 230. Immediately he got down inside of a month to 228. He said, Cam did, I've learned more from him than he's learned from me in the short time we've been together. Kick is deep to Corliss Marshall. He elects not to bring it out. Arkansas will have it at their own 25-yard line. And again, the pressure back to the Tigers defense, who stopped Arkansas. How about a 3rd and 1 play and forced them to punt the last time they were out here. Let's see if Johnson, Barrow, Ferguson, Lawston, and company can get it done, and the Tiger faithful rise to their feet.
Yeah, they've been doing it on defense in this 4th quarter, this second half anyway. In both quarters, the Arkansas offense has only been on the field for 3 plays in the last 11 minutes of clock time. Arkansas has to be more successful here on this last drive.
No first downs in the last 11 minutes for them. Right away, Alex Collins forges ahead beyond the 30 to the 31.
Tim, what I loved about that run is the patience of Alex Collins. He let the blocks set themselves up. He followed the blocking and read it perfectly and gashed that LSU defense on first down. What this gives Arkansas the ability to do is maybe get Brandon Allen, use his arm a little bit, and see if they can get a cheap one and get some chunk yardage here throwing the football.
Yeah, not a bad idea to go Wildcat as they did. Remember, they used Kiero Small in that Wildcat position for a touchdown earlier in the game. Now going with Collins there, at least a moment ago. 2nd and 4. Nothing doing this time for Collins on the handoff. Maybe a yard, and that's all.
That was just a dive right up the middle, and they ran some orbit motion over the top to see how LSU would be able to respond. But Timmy, the last time that they won was October 13th of last year against Kentucky. Arkansas needs a huge play here on 3rd down to increase their chances to get their first SEC win since the middle of last year.
3rd and 3. Allen. Hatcher has it at the 34. That won't be enough. It'll be 4th and 1. Hatcher thought he had the first down. He did not.
And now decision time, buddy. Do you want to turn this football over back to LSU? At this point, probably with a backup quarterback, you're strongly thinking about punting the football. But again, you got to know where the sticks are to be able to get the first down if you're Keon Hatcher.
LSU calls the timeout. They'll have 1 remaining. It will be 4th and a yard.
I mean, he's right there. He's got the ball marker on that side of the field.
Yep.
Great coverage that time by Jalen Mills.
Yeah, no question. Hatcher thought he had the line to make, but Mills had other ideas. Stay tuned. They are lined up in a punt formation on 4th and less than a yard.
Their last game, they went for a fake punt and it got stopped. They elect to kick this one here.
And it's to Landry, and it's deep. Fair catch, and he's going to hope that it gets into the end zone. It
What
will
a
not.
kick.
It will not.
What a kick.
Down at the 1-yard line. And that's where not having Odell Beckham Jr., your normal return man, may come into play. Brooks Ellis going down there to down it, and Irwin Hill, another Aussie from City College of San Francisco by way of Bendigo, Australia, just hit the perfect long 65-yard 9-iron effect.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry with that time had his feet on the 15-yard line. A lot of times, Tim, they tell the returners to stand with your feet on the 10-yard line. If the ball goes behind you, get out of the way. But that time that ball landed right on the 10. LSU could have this ball 10 yards ahead of where it is now.
It doesn't get any more difficult than this, does it? That's normally what they bring Jennings in to do for Mettenberger. Try on 4th and 1 to sneak it in, and that's been primarily his role this season as the backup quarterback along with Stephen Rivers. And now the task is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, no question. And LSU's been very balanced this second half. 17 rushes, 13 passes. At some point, this young quarterback's going to have to throw the ball. We said it was going to be Zach Mettenberger's arm, but at some point Jennings is going to have to let this thing go. Perfect opportunity for Arkansas to get this ball back with some time.
Play fake and a roll.
Great contain.
Over the middle, the tight end's got it. At the 19-yard line, Dylan Gordon on a first down. Jennings looked composed. He found him right in front of Eric Bennett, 14, the free safety.
Trey Flowers did a good job of maintaining contain on the outside, and Jennings stopped, set his feet up. Tim, you hit the nail on the head. He looked composed and delivered a strike for the first down.
Call it the 18-yard line. Just over 2 minutes left. 1 timeout left. Boone broke a bit late on that one, the intended receiver. It goes incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And that time Trey Flowers again off that outside edge was able to get to Jennings, the young quarterback that's a backup. He will start to feel that pressure, and that time he was staring his receiver down. LSU has to make sure that they don't turn this football over because Jennings throws an interception. Young quarterbacks in big moments like this can get nervous and get away from their fundamentals.
Out of of the shotgun. Lost that one ahead to Landry. Pretty good idea to find number 80. How he manages to continually get open is incredible to me. Jared Collins with the stop. Everybody's got to know he's the #1 option in the passing game with Odell Beckham Jr. out. It's another Tigers first down.
Man, and if I'm defensive coordinator Chris Ash, I'm trying to pressure this young quarterback. Don't get conservative on us now, Arkansas. You want to win this ball game, get your first win, you're going to have to take it from LSU. Don't get in this bend but don't break philosophy.
He can run. He's a tremendous athlete, and he sets sail all the way to midfield. First down, Tigers. Jennings becoming the story at 21-yard gain.
Tim, this time they rushed 4 and dropped 7. Good job getting players on the ground. That time Trey Flowers gets knocked over, and he doesn't have contain, and it allows Jennings to use his most dangerous weapon, which is his legs.
And we've got an injured Razorback. Down at the 45-yard line. It looks to be one of the down linemen for the Razorbacks. Just not in a position to see the jersey number just yet.
This crowd's starting to become alive, Tim. LSU's been lethargic all afternoon. They're down a center. They're down a tackle.
Down a quarterback.
They're down their quarterback most of all. And they've still got a chance to not only win this game, but at the very least tie it. But with the one timeout that they have with 1:46 means they're going to have to choose their plays carefully.
It is Trey Flowers that's hurt. And that's one of their great pass rushers, obviously one of those outstanding bookend defensive ends. A reminder, coming up, Adam Zucker, Brian Jones, and Spencer Tillman with the Jeep postgame show coming up immediately after our game here. Not only to discuss what's happened today and elsewhere besides Tiger Stadium, but of course, what's in store for tomorrow in the Iron Bowl game coming up. And the ticket to be punched to Atlanta for the SEC championship game, which will also be seen here on CBS next week, a week from Saturday. First down for Jennings. Landry at the bottom of your screen, Boone at the top.
Watch screen. Some pressure.
Got away from pressure again and throws towards the boundary, incomplete. Intended for Boone.
And Tim, that's what LSU has to do against a mobile quarterback. Remember what the Tigers did last week against Johnny Manziel. This is what Arkansas has to do. Get upfield, stay in your rush lanes, maintain lane integrity, and be aggressive on the outside edges with your defensive backs. They've got to be able to pressure this young quarterback just like they did to force the incompletion. This theoretically lends itself to the strengths of this Arkansas defense.
Still one timeout remaining for LSU. Jennings pressure, dumps it off to Hill. Jeremy Hill stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. So it will be third down and 10 coming up. And Dietrich Wise Jr. there to make the stop, number 48. Timeouts, 1:22 remaining here on the Bayou. (27-24). That old saying, it's not how you start, but perhaps how you finish. Anticipation, expectations, always for a proud program like LSU's to get to 10 wins, as they have for so many years, really since their championship run began in 2001 in the SEC. Anything less than 10-3 would be considered a disappointing year for this bunch. For Arkansas, however, the depths of despair in not having won a game at all within the Southeastern Conference since 2012 against Kentucky. They're trying to get rid of a lot of demons today. On the road, on a short week, the day after Thanksgiving, known as Black Friday. It would indeed be that for LSU if they were to lose this game today. Third down and 10. After the timeout, LSU's last one available to them. Jennings looking for Durrell. He's wide open. Touchdown, Traven Durrell. How about that? beat Jared Collins, number 29. And a prayerful Zach Mettenberger, happy to see the freshman get the job done in the air. Can you say 99 yards with a freshman at quarterback?
And it was the freshman's arm, Tim, that was the difference.
His first touchdown pass. Doral has been on the receiving end before. Had a big one against Alabama, you might recall, before the end of the first half of that game. And the extra point by Delahousie gives LSU a 31-27 lead. Couple of timeouts remaining. It looks as though we have a late flag on the extra point. Now, we touched on it, a proud program. You simply are not supposed to lose more than 3 games when you play at LSU. Now, these seniors have known nothing but success. If you're a 5th-year senior at LSU, all right, you're part of 51 wins and an SEC title, a 13-0 regular season. If you're a 4-year senior, 42 wins in all of the other stats I just mentioned. Well, we touched on who would that other guy be if not Odell Beckham Jr.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 85 on the offense. Those fouls canceled, we'll have the kick.
I thought perhaps it might be Kadron Boone. Turned out to be Trayvon Doral. But you knew someone was going to take Landry away. But for him to be that wide open, how did it happen?
Well, Tim, you caught Jared Collins flat-footed on the double move, just beautifully thrown in a great located football by Anthony Jennings, and it all starts up front, Tim, with protection. Yeah. The strength of that Arkansas defense was getting to the quarterback. That time they weren't close. They gave Jennings time.
A little double move, huh?
Doral did the rest.
Just a little, and it was a twitch. It wasn't really your typical double move. It was, but the fact that there was no help for Collins is something that may have even surprised Anthony Jennings.
As a cornerback, you can never get yourself flat-footed. And you see there Zach Mettenberger giving some love to the heir apparent to the quarterback position at LSU. We talked about that young guy need to make a play with his arm on this drive at some point, Tim. We just saw it.
I got your back, senior. And my future is in front of me.
Man, LSU doesn't ever win pretty, but they find ways to win, and that's what good coach teams do. LSU has a belief that they can find a way to win, that playmakers will continually step up, and that's where Brett Bielema is trying to get his team to be. Let's see how they respond. But remember, throwing the football is not their strength. With only 2 timeouts and 1:15 left, they're going to have to throw it, and it's going to have to be the arms of Brandon Allen.
Well, beware of the spot. Beware of the kick return, though. He had a 100-yarder called back earlier, you might recall. Carlos Marshall gets that one out 21 yards, and that's where the Razorbacks take over. The inability to get first downs on 2 possessions. That one will stay with the Hogs all the way back to Fayetteville if they don't convert in this sequence.
There are no moral victories, Tim. They have competed today. They have responded. But they need their player makers, these young guys, to be able to step up and find a way to get it done. But here comes LSU pinning their ears back. Here come the Tigers.
3 down linemen. They do bring pressure off the corner, and the pass is complete. It goes to Hunter Henry, a favorite target, the tight end, has a couple of touchdowns. What a future he has. Out to the 32-yard line for a first down.
In 2-minute offense, your goal is to get first downs, period. Stop the clock when possible. Expect perimeter throws at some point.
Allen decides to tuck it and run, slides down at the 40, 2 yards shy of the first down. Tick, 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 down to 43.
8-yard plays aren't going to get it done for this Arkansas offense, and it looks like they elect to take a timeout, Tim.
Yeah. Well, that will leave them one with 42 seconds left. Talk about Traven Durrell again, and he has been an option for this team. Take a look again at this twitch, and you talked about flat-footed was Jared Collins.
Well, he's peeking in the backfield, reading the quarterback. And just gets smoked. Look at that separation there. He has no chance, Tim. Look at that. And starts at 5 yards and ends up at 7. He would have been open if the field were 200 yards long.
Durrell, a redshirt freshman from Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. That was his first reception of the day, and it happened to be the biggest of the day. But it's not as if he's not in the scouting report. He's made some big catches through the course of the season. I mentioned that one that he had in the Alabama game right before the half. Guys like he and James Wright, younger options, as you see Zach Mettenberger now on crutches. Ice pack on the left knee. Inspirational play by this defense, though, for LSU, enabled the Tigers an opportunity to take the lead with 2 stops on 3rd and short. Allen under pressure. Sacked, loses it. Does LSU have it? It appears as though they may. They do. The forced fumble by Dwayne Thomas, 13, coming with pressure off the corner, and Jamarie Rasco with the recovery, number 59. Junior from Shreveport, Louisiana, coming up with the recovery for the Tigers.
It's at the top of the screen, just comes unblocked. Talking with defensive coordinator John Chavis.
Said he would bring guys off the corner.
Said he would bring guys. He wants to make them think about what's going on.
Especially with him, because he's got so much speed.
There's no question, coming off that outside edge, and it's the pressure. Making the quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket was the difference there.
There's your shot of the day, huh? Zach Mettenberger. He'll take those crutches now. Hoist them up like it's a trophy. We get to hold on to the boot, and I'll take my crutches back to the locker room. Well, we wish him well. And that will do it. Partner, the battle for the boot was a memorable one.
We had us a ball game.
Yes, we did.
Well, last week talking with Coach Bielema, he said he showed his team a tape of 10 things that they hadn't done so far, that he liked the progress of this team. There's going to be some good stuff for Arkansas, but they fell short and lost a huge opportunity to have a program-defining win in Brett Bielema's first year. 175-pound boot will stay in Baton Rouge.
They will no longer play this game on Thanksgiving Friday. Beginning next year, LSU will close out its season with Texas A&M. But the battle for the boot will remain as LSU takes it again for the 3rd consecutive year. Christina Acker is standing by with Les Miles.
All right, thanks, Tim. Coach, take me through that final drive after Mettenberger goes out. How are you able to come back and win this one?
We're on the 1 yard line. We got a new quarterback, freshman center, lost the right tackle. And just kind of calmly went off tackle for 3 yards in the quarterback sneak and hit it naked and hit a ball on the sideline and moved the ball down the field. And we really wanted to take a shot. Felt like Traven Durrell, Cameron says Traven Durrell may well be open on this. So we said, let's get in position to get that. Got a first down or two. Hit a check down really within the 10 yards. Going to cost us a first down. Cost us a first down. Next play, you know, touchdown. Tigers win. Tigers win.
A very emotional senior day. What can you say about these guys that played their last game here in Tiger
Well, I want you to know something. It would not have served us if it had gone any other way. First of all, hats off to Arkansas. Played awfully well. And we had some heroic Guys came in there and just say, listen, I do this. I'm calm. I handle this. And that's what they did. What a game. What a completely unusual game.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Some might say that Les Miles is the prince of unusual victory. And he got another one today. But how about that raw emotion? La'el Collins, the junior, with the embrace. Johnson, number 90, the defensive lineman Anthony Johnson, with a hug for Zach Mettenberger, who is in tears. But the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts is that one. Traven Durrell on the receiving end from the freshman of some influence today, Anthony Jennings, from Marietta, Georgia. Another youngster from Georgia playing the quarterback position at LSU with the touchdown pass, 49 yards. And the alma mater heard with tears coming down the cheeks of Mettenberger and 13 other seniors for this LSU football team. And this is why they love Miles. He is a player's coach. He knows the words by heart. He may have had hail to the victors in '76 as a senior, but he knows this alma mater as well. And yet another reason why the Southeastern Conference is so much fun to cover. That is a last place team you witness give one of the elite programs all they wanted today, Aaron. And Jennings is an outstanding quarterback for this football team, made a very big play as the Tigers win it in unusual fashion for Les Miles today, 31-27. For Aaron Taylor, Christina Acra, Tim Brando saying so long. Tomorrow here on CBS, two of the nation's top four, the greatest Iron Bowl you'll ever see, with the most at stake in my lifetime. Number 1 Alabama, number 4 Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson will have it. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports. We'll send you to Adam Zucker and the Jeep postgame show in just a moment. What a Thanksgiving holiday it's been for us here in Baton Rouge. Hope you enjoyed it. The boot is comfortable in BR. Adam and the guys coming up after this break.